Hey, everybody.
Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? I hope it's excited because this is episode 400 of the Trophy Room. Gosh darn it. This is the pre show, but not really much of a pre show because we're right about to just get right into it. Okay? Because listen, this
We don't want
reveal isn't
Joe
going to
to
reveal itself.
spoil anything early.
I've been keeping this a secret for like what feels like forever. There's too much excitement. I'm going to mess it all up.
I
Let's
totally
go.
forgot really
What's that?
quickly. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
whoa, Kyle, I forgot I shaved my face.
Yeah.
I totally forgot.
Ooh, ooh.
I'm Deadpool's best friend, Peter. I'm Peter
That's
Pool.
right. That's right. I love that. I honestly, now that you say it, I can't not picture you being
Listen,
Peter.
I'm not going to beat Joe on Fantasy Critic this year, so I'm paying up my bet now,
That's right.
which means I beat Joe doing his punishment for when he lost last year. But I digress. It's
That's
it's it's too special of a night for me to be salty about
that's
anything.
right.
Let's just get right in
Too
it.
special.
So
You know
chat,
what? Let's get right into it. Let's
chat.
get to the
We'll
show.
see you in 16 seconds.
Oh, wait, no longer greatness has arrived. Welcome to episode 400 of the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, aka Mr. Badbit, and it is here where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation. Of course, this week, we chat about PlayStation closing down Firewalk and Neo Koi Studios. Dragon Age Veilguard reviews. Kyle gets to finally chat about Neva and Fear the Spotlight. Our big 400th episode news and so much more as we do it live each and every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on youtube.com/PS Trophy Room and audio services the very next day after. Alongside me, the greatest co-host who ever is, whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson. You shaved off the beard. Is this in celebration of the show?
Well,
Episode
listen,
400, baby. Yeah,
happy 400th episode. Big milestone. Can't believe we're here.
huge.
And
Can't
as
believe
we
it.
always say, quote unquote 400th episode.
Yeah,
This is the official 400 episode.
yep.
Who knows if we're right or wrong. Yeah, I shaved because I didn't have money for a Halloween costume, so I am Peter, Deadpool's best friend, Peter Pool,
That's fair.
or Paul Blart, indie cop, I guess, as Phoenix said in chat.
Oh,
Like, it feels like I'm gonna pull people over and give tickets for not playing enough indie games.
I love that.
So either one of those two, and also
Yeah.
I realize as hard as I am fighting in our fantasy critic league, there's no way I'm going to catch you.
That's
So
fair.
I'm going to pay up on my bet now,
That's fair.
which means I beat you to the punch for your own punishment from last year. So
Oh wait, the makeup is right there. I'll do it
I
soon.
know. I bought it and sent it to you. Like
Blame
last
the
December.
ADHD. You know.
But how are you feeling, Jeff?
Man, I'm so flippin' excited right now. Like this is we've been teasing it for the last week or so. It's episode 400. This is an end of an era, start of a new era of the trophy room. So before we like start teasing things right here right now, no one's leaving, no one's going away. It's additive, it's not reductive, baby. Don't worry about
You
it.
sure about that?
All right. Wait, do you have an announcement for me, Kyle? Where you
Is
going?
that not what we've been hyping up this whole time? I thought we were on the same page.
Are we killing you off?
You fired me.
Right. Yeah, that's right. All right. Listen, Kyle Stevenson. We had a lot of actually almost every single question wasn't even a question. It was just people congratulating us on episode 400. And I got to get the elephant out of the room. This is also like our Halloween episode. I will be putting on my costume at Flash News because there's no way I'm going to reveal what we're going to reveal dressed as what I'm going to be dressed as. And I need your reaction to be I need your reaction, Kyle. So
Okay,
that said, I have a starter question for us. Ready?
ready.
Fluke23 writes, "Hey guys, How are you both on this monumental episode? Congratulations on the amazing milestone. It's truly been a blast listening to you guys. I can't wait to see what's in store for the next 400 episodes. Ooh, same. My question for you both this week is for the Sony Pony Express.
Yeehaw!
That's right. Wow. Is a look back at your journey. Over 400 plus episodes, this show has had some amazing memories, laughs, and probably enough tears to power the Hoover Dam. Ooh, you are right.
All from me, most
Mostly, yeah. Yeah, I'm just the dry husk. Anyway, whether it be a monument of joy, surprise, or just damn right tear jerking. As always, keep up the amazing work, and for this special occasion, I hope you achieve the perfect goon all the way to the moon. Ooh, Kyle Stevenson. So,
Oh boy.
what's your favorite memory from the show, man?
Man, I don't think I've thought about that until Fluke just asked it and you read it out loud. There's a lot. I mean, getting to interview Ben Starr, Danielle, John McLaren, voice of Star-Lord from the Guardians game, are all up there for sure. All the little bits from when we first started, like you being Spider-Bit. I'm sorry.
Marcus, whoa, we don't know about that. Marcus O'Neill actually has a good, has a good question about that. Yeah,
there's some good ones, and also like I feel like having Greg Miller on the show was crazy. Having Jonathan Dornbush on the show, two people that I listened to their PlayStation shows forever ago, and the reason why I'm here and wanted to do a PlayStation show have been super special. And yeah, just getting a chance to do something that I've always wanted to do 6 years ago at this point. Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think for me, it's been a really crazy journey. Because it really started off from, like, you're right, we had Greg Miller on the show, which he is the catalyst of like me creating in the first place. When he said like just go and do it, I went and I made something out of nothing, and then I met you and I was just like, the vibes are correct. I need to bring this guy on. We need to chat about PlayStation. Growing that friendship with you, man, the past 6 years, wouldn't trade that for the world, man. And just thinking like why I made this show is I made it because I was sad that my favorite podcast was leaving PS I Love You at the time. And I wanted to make it myself. If I couldn't have it, I needed to at least make it. And it was because of my love of Horizon Zero Dawn. And I think my favorite memory out of all of it has been when we got to sit back with the community and react alongside to the state of play for Horizon Forbidden West. It was just such like a full circle moment of like, oh wow, I truly made something here. We've made something here. This is freaking special. This is surreal. I remember getting emotional just watching it, seeing people getting excited for the thing I love. Like it reminded me why I do this. Truly.
Shout out to Luke Lore in the chat. Hi, Luke. Boo. Happy 402 Fantastic Humans. Appreciate the super chat, buddy.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. He gave us a super chat.
It's also, I just thought of it, and Stingray in chat reminded me. Also, highlight in chat, Nisa, Green Gorilla, Mackenzie, everybody, Suddy. It's fantastic having you all here for the big episode. Episode 400 goes live the same day Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster comes out.
Hot damn.
Isn't that cool?
What are the odds? One of my favorite games of all time. The thing that started it off.
Yeah.
Episode 400.
And
that's poetic, man.
Episode 400 is the remaster of the trophy room.
Absolutely. So let's get right into the brass tacks of what we're about to reveal. The new era, all that stuff. Kyle, what are your thoughts? What are your feelings walking into this reveal? Because it's huge. It is truly monumental.
It is pretty awesome. Something, if you were going to ask me years ago, and we've had this discussion before, where feeling like it might be too much to add to our plate. It might ruin, the way our shows are week to week. past dumb Kyle is so dumb. I'm so excited for this, and I'm very excited for everyone to hear about it very, very soon. But before we get into it,
okay,
I do want to thank everybody that has ever been on a guest on the show.
Yes,
because we have a long list. So I want to make sure everyone gets their thanks because we have 400 episodes, 6 years. A lot of people were able to come on here. So I want to shout out the Nintendo Guru, Bobby Pauls, Luke Lord, Ainsley Bowden, Captain Logan, Sean Capri, Asa Green River, Jessica Cogswell, the Nerd Chat crew, Emmett Watkins, Darren Simmons, Ebontis, Mike Towndrow, Kami, Jake Steinberg, Kevin Diaz, the Triangle Squared podcast crew, Baron over at Level 1 Gaming, Lord Cognito, Miles Dampierre, Dash Revolver, Nathan McErney, Court Lalonde, Matt Sawinski, Amy Kate Alexander, Mr. Moody, Steve Vigvari, Chris Johnston, Greg Miller, Blessing Adeoye Jr., Alex Van Aken, Jonathan Dornbush, Joseph Yaden, Mario Rivera, Ty Guy Travis, Tammy Ryan, aka Mrs. Nasty Boots, Khalif Adams, Fiona McKinnon, Ben Starr, Stephen Weber, Trevor Starkey, Benchy Sales, Brap, John McLaren, Sam Barlow, Plastic Heart Podcast, Alan Torres, Steve Tilley, Danielle Basuti, Patches, Josh Silverman, Derek Van Dyke, Todd Oxtra, Brandon Wilson, Polyarch Games, Resolution Games, Abu Bakar Salim, and our latest guest, Tegan, aka Lightweight Gaming.
That's a huge list of names that we just name dropped.
That's a lot.
That's awesome. And like when you look back on it, first off, I should have put in those episodes featuring with their name. It would have made it a lot easier for you to find them.
I had that thought when I was making the list.
Listen, I might be a good host. I'm not a smart man.
I had to click open all of the descriptions. I had to scrub through videos to make sure everyone was good.
All right, so that's why the tick up on the podcast is so profound this week.
Yeah, that's why I took off the whole week, because it's been a process.
Fair enough. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Such names, such wow.
Yes.
Thank you all so much. Again, we're just a little show, you know, and it's just awesome that we can have just all of our friends come by.
Yeah.
You know, some big names too, but like, you know, just a special shout out as we get into it to the first name up there. This is when I get emotional now. The Nintendo Guru, Bobby Pauls. Oh man, no, yep, this is where the tears happen. Because without him, this show wouldn't happen. Because I literally asked him way back when I said when I was making this show, I go, it's this kid Kyle that I talked to. I loved the vibe, and it's this other person. Who would I choose to be my co-host? And Bobby Pauls gave me the best talk ever. He's like, it doesn't matter what they know. Because I remember, Kyle, I was leaning on you because I was just like, oh, he knows PlayStation. He's been in it since day one. He's like, none of that stuff matters. He's like, what matters is who you vibe with. What matters is that this person isn't just going to be your co-host. They're not even going to just be your friend. This is going to be your partner for years. And that's the thing that matters the most, is who you vibe with. And I'll say this, best advice I've ever taken, and I think the best decision I've ever made, and probably the only best decision I've made when it comes to this podcast, is, Kyle, before we do this reveal, you've been the North Star, my friend, of this show. I say it all the time. You're the heart and soul of the show. Every great decision is because of Kyle Stevenson. Every big guest that we've had on the show is because Kyle shot his shot. And you're just spectacular. Every time I talk to people, like, what's the thing that makes this show special? It's not like our expertise on PlayStation. God, no. It's our friendship. Everybody talks about how, oh my God, it feels like we're just walking into the room. You guys are already chatting. Forget the water cooler. It's
You're
a
not
couch.
supposed to try to make me cry this early. Okay?
But it's...
And I don't appreciate Nisa, Light, and Stingray in chat adding to the emotional weight that is coming down on top of me right now.
Well, let me release that weight a little bit, because, like, you know, you're also the voice of reason, because when we've had this conversation in the past of where the future of this show goes, you know, you've always been the level head of, like, the vibes need to be immaculate. we need to really, if this is gonna happen, we need to make sure that we are making the right choice. And this is not just a Joe has ADHD decision because he's excited. And I remember the conversation that we had, Kyle. It was when you came back from Summer Game Fest, and I just straight up asked you, Kyle, I think we need help. And you were just like, we didn't have a debate. We didn't even have a conversation. You were just like, we do. And so we went off to find that person that helps, with the vibe of the show, who adds to it. And 2 weeks ago, or 2 or 3 weeks ago at this point, we got off of recording. It was just you and me in a Discord call. And Kyle, you immediately said it. You're like, so Light is the third co-host of this show, right? And I was like, brother, you took the words right out of my mouth, because yes, I was about to say the same thing. So everybody, await no longer. Our third co-host has arrived. Lightweight Gaming herself. Tegan, how are you, miss?
What?
Oh man, I made them both cry.
Yay!
Yes, we did it.
I'm sorry,
we did it.
There's so many moving parts. I had to make sure we're good for the stream.
Yes. How are you, miss? How are you feeling?
Here. I'm shaking. I'm so excited. I don't know if you can see my hands.
I told you before we started, I'm so excited, I don't even know what to do with my hands.
I was so excited for that whole lead up, and I thought Joe was going to introduce you a little bit differently. I didn't even get to do my Dr. Pepper bit. I was like, let me take a sip of my Dr. Pepper before we announce it.
Hi, everybody.
So how are you feeling?
I'm ecstatic. I really am. When you guys asked me a couple weeks ago if I would do this with you, I literally went running out of my room. I was jumping up and down, and my husband's like, "What is happening right now?" I didn't even ask. I was like, "Are we gonna?" I'm just like, "Nope, we're doing this." I'm so excited. I'm so grateful. Like when I met Kyle at PAX, I was just over the moon.
Speaking of, I was cleaning the other day because my desk was a mess. Look what I found on my desk.
Hey, it's me.
Your card, yeah. I was like, that's crazy. Look at that.
And I'm so grateful that you guys gave me the opportunity all those, I guess, a couple months ago at this point, the first time. And then it just, I felt like I vibed with you guys right away, and I'm so glad to be here, and I'm so glad to be working with you now. I'm so excited.
Same. Oh my goodness. So truth be told, when we had you on for the Star Wars Outlaws talk, right? It was just happenstance, because I saw you had a review code. I was like, okay, I know she's been on. We usually like to, space our guests a bit, but like, I loved your vibe with Kyle, and so I was like, yeah, let's bring her on again. And after that episode, I started editing it and listening back to it. You've heard the list, right? We've had amazing people on this show. Every time we've been done recording with them, no disrespect to any of them, because we love you all so much, but I was like, oh, this was a great episode. Love this. I'll see them next time whenever I get a chance, whenever it fits, right? Whenever it makes sense. And when we got off of that episode, I was just like, oh, I need an excuse, like, because next week sounds great, So when, the personal things happened in my life, I was truly thinking I was going to be gone for like a month and a half. And when I was thinking about like who could replace me on the show, it really just strictly came down to who do we have the best rapport with? Who do we have the best vibe with? And it was like instantaneous. It was you. And as the episodes have gone on, and I'll say this here right now, the past month and a half has been some of the most fun I've had podcasting in well over a year. It's just, this feels so right, guys. I love all this. So yeah, thank you so much for joining the squad.
I'd also just like, if it's okay, I'd like to thank the community, because your community has been wonderful. Obviously, I don't have Discord besides for these, so I'm not in the Discord server, but every time I come on here and I can see the YouTube chat, social media, like everyone has just been so welcoming. Even when I was just like a guest host the first couple of times, everyone was so welcoming, so warm, and it's been amazing, and I appreciate you all, and thank you for opening your arms to me and letting me be a part of this trio, because I never once felt like the odd man out with you guys or with your community, and it's just been wonderful. So thank you guys too.
My favorite thing after last week's episode was because we already knew you were the third member last week. And so when we were like, can't wait to have you back, Light, and everyone in chat's like, no, Light, don't go, just come back, please. And then getting DMs from community members on Twitter of being like, oh, please make Light the permanent third chair, please. It was so cool to have that that thing in our back pocket of like, yeah, just wait a week.
So hard to keep that secret. So hard. Every single time I type something out, I'm like, am I overthinking this or is this too obvious? And then I would like try to add something else to make it less obvious.
Oh my God. Every time I was like, don't you tell a goddamn soul Joe. I'm the word. You don't have to interrogate me or nothing. You just ask and my ADHD would be like, I'll tell you the whole truth. But yeah, no, this is such a good feeling. I love this. That said, listen, gang, Kyle, do you have the episode 400 image by any chance?
Well, I tweeted it out from the official trophy room, announcing Light's part of the show permanently.
Yes.
So it's over there.
And also, speaking of, in order to celebrate, again, only like 2 or 3 people have known this secret. Our good friend Diego, that helps make our merch, helped make, and I put it in the chat, link in the description, an episode 400 shirt, Astrobot versions of myself, Kyle, and T celebrating episode 400. Go check a look, support the show the way you can. And yeah, no, keeping that a secret as well, like working in secret with Diego. The man works under pressure because I literally gave him a week and he delivered. That said, Kyle, how do you feel about your Astrobot?
I like it, but I didn't know you were getting this ready already. Yeah. You know, we have a already store page that we could put the shirt on.
You know what? That's a great thing that you said. And I just moved unilaterally.
It's totally okay.
That's fair. This is my special link.
I missed my beard looking at my Astrobot already.
Now, was Diego a little aggressive on my receding hairline? Certainly. But you know what? I love you so much. I'm like, I hate how accurate it is. How about you, T? How do you like your little Astro girl?
I love it. I love how it also has my roots because I need to go get my roots done.
I love it, man.
My favorite is I had someone come in and be like, "You're lying about your hair color. That's not your natural hair color." So like the running joke in my community is like, "What do you mean this isn't my natural hair color?" And like acting like it's real even though it's clearly not. So I love it.
I love it.
I saw somebody tweeted a gif of you, I think this morning, of your natural hair colors. Like, that's not Light.
So that's not my natural hair color either. That's too dark. Yeah, I was trying to go back, but they dyed it darker and I hated it. So that's not me either. It looks that dark with the roots, but it's not actually that.
Did it look like you were in an emo band type of dark?
No, it just looked brunette. It was very brunette.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
But Kyle, you saw my daughter earlier. That's my natural hair color.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Okay. So first off, before we get into the rest of the show proper, I want to thank the Enchanted Goat for sending a $20 super chat. Love you guys. Can't wait for 400 more. Thank you so much, Enchanted Goat. And again, frenemy of the show, he sent money too. Thank you. That said, listen, we got a lot to talk about, and we actually have a lot of drama to talk about, but we got to do a little bit of housekeeping. First and foremost, if memory serves correct, we have our community game day, November 26th, starts at noon. It runs hopefully around 12 hours, so we get everybody in. I'll be there for 12 hours, just, smoozing with everybody, playing some games, maybe some Fortnite, maybe some Call of Duty, maybe whatever the audience wants. I'm game. Let's go. Again, our new merch, link in the description down below. And hey, it's time for our Patreon pitch. The reason why we look so good, we sound so great, is because of your generosity over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. I want to thank our newest members. Hey, Enchanted Go at the Platinum tier, Solo at the Silver tier, Doss Simon the Pie Man re-upping at the Silver tier. I want to thank our premium producers, Todd Burwitz and Toxic. I want to thank our Platinum members, JC, a Jedi Master Ren, Cowboy Danger D, Jonas Young, The Green Gorilla Gamer, Chaotic Monkey, Ryoko Kill 90, Stephen Flesh, Strubles and Bits, Aaron, Bertos Maximus, Tommy, Chris, Hybrid 748, Matt Valdez, Silcanet, Decimine, Mitchell Gramling, and Mike Thomas. I want to thank our gold members, Cypher Primus, Doth Simon the Pie Man, Jesse Garcia, JB the Purple Monkey, Hyde Indoors, Katie, Kevin Mitchell, Kevin Diaz, Marcus O'Neill, The Red Arrow, Aegis Hermit, Androsaur, Astronaut Jr., The Winter Gamer, Stingray X, Robbie Bobby Miller, Brenton Zachary, Final Fan XZ, Hambone, JD Dillinger, Stone Cold ET, Tino Six Speed, N. Johnson, Sean McKenzie, Rick Arrington, Matthew King, The Overlord, Dewane Roxa, Drellish, Rick Davis, Steph Midler, Samuel Nestling, Maximum Carnage, Solo, Big G, and the Lord Commander Suddy. Thank you all so much. You are the reason why this show keeps going each and every week. And if you want some bonus content, some bonus shows, hundreds, if not thousands at this point of bonus content, you head on over to patreon.com and we got the fix up right there for y'all. That said, Kyle and T, it is time to square up the news. Ooh, I'm parched. That Patreon one, that took me out of it, y'all. Ooh, ooh.
I can't wait to hear how you're going to rewrite the intro for next week, now that it's official.
Oh, I got it. Oh,
You got
I
it?
got it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how many takes he does next week. Like, we'll see.
Oh man.
We'll keep counting.
Honestly,
First try.
I'm gonna call. I know for a fact next week, weeks on end, months even. I'm gonna call Tegan sir. I'm like during it. Like, how are you, sir? Shit. Like, it's gonna be
I won't be offended. It's okay.
All right, Kyle, it's time. Square us up, buddy.
First bit of news that we're squaring up on the 400th episode comes from Michael Ruiz over at PS Lifestyle. And Michael writes, Concord dev Firewalk Studios shuts down. Sony issues statement. Sony is shutting down Concord developer Firewalk Studios. This happens just under 2 months after the companies took the game offline and delisted the live service shooter. In an update from Sony Interactive Entertainment, as spotted by Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, the company has decided to close Firewalk Studios and sunset the game. This is due to the live service shooter drastically underperforming. Sony Interactive Entertainment says it will take the lessons learned and continue to further its live service push. The statement does say they took a lot of time these past few months looking at other options, but felt the quote-unquote best path forward was shuttering the studio. Quote, after much thought, we have determined the best path forward is to permanently sunset the game and close the studio, says the Sony Interactive Entertainment statement. I want to thank all of Firewalk for their craftsmanship, creative spirit, and dedication. The PvP first-person shooter genre is a competitive space that's continuously evolving, and unfortunately, we did not hit our targets with this title, the statement continues. We will take the lessons learned from Concord and continue to advance our live service capabilities to deliver future growth in this area. In the same statement, Sony Interactive Entertainment also announced it would shut down mobile game studio Neon Koi. SIE says it will find placement within its own studios to some of those impacted by the closures. Quote, I know none of this is easy news to hear, particularly with colleagues and friends departing SIE, says the statement. Both decisions were given serious thought, and ultimately we feel they are the right ones to strengthen the organization. Neon Koi and Firewalk were home to many talented individuals, and we will work to find placement for some of those impacted within our global community of studios where possible, end quote. Shortly after Concord was taken offline, every trace of its existence was erased from players' consoles. This seemed to point towards SIE not bringing this game back. However, hope was sparked when Concord game files and Steam's backend were being updated by Sony. This led to speculation that the game may go free to play. Obviously, this is no longer the case.
Yeah, on the point of the last paragraph here, I saw a lot of people really disappointed. It's like, hey, you're updating the game on Steam. What was that about? Truly, and I know this sounds awful, but it probably was busy work of like, hey, we're exploring our options. You know, it could go free to play, and if it did, we're preparing this patch in the back end for it while we're thinking about our options. And with that, X-Bacon Gaming writes in, just like you can too if you head on over to the Trophy Room Discord server, We ask you questions each and every Wednesday, and y'all came and delivered this episode in droves. He says, happy 400th episode, fellas. The next 400 will fly by. My question for the show. I give you guys tons of crap for fun on the console wars. As a Sony stock investor, 24 shares. Okay, guy. All right. Ooh, 24 shares. You know, I'd be impressed if it was 25, maybe 26, but 24? That's a poor man's number. I think someone needs to own up for Concord and Firewalk. All I heard from corporate is this game is the future of the platform. And now this, do we blame Jimbo or Hulst? Also, reading the words in the post, bringing games to new platforms. PC isn't a new platform, ... Xbox? Thanks in advance. Signed, disgruntled Sony investor, Bacon. Kyle, I go over to you, sir, first. Who do we blame, Herman or Jimbo?
His name starts with J.
We're blaming Jim? We're blaming Jim.
It's 1,000,000% Jim. And okay. Herman had to make the tough calls because Jim is no longer there.
Yeah.
From the get-go, I thought this live service push was not the way to go. If a studio wanted to make one, cool, totally fine. But to make it such an important like part of Sony's DNA years ago, and now we're seeing one win in Helldivers. Concord's gone. Factions 2 or whatever never got off the ground. We're still waiting on Fair Games. So this, to me, this is solely on Jim and on the other board members who were too afraid to push back a little bit. And not even and to pull the plug too quickly.
Fair.
I feel like, and I don't want to. I believe you said this, Light, so I don't want to steal the words from your tweet.
Steal away.
But, I believe you said like they took a shot, they took a risk at what they were making, and they only let it live for like a month, if that, 2 weeks, whatever it was. And I don't know. I feel like that is a dangerous slope to be had of not taking risks with things. I feel like I don't like the world where developers are no longer taking risks and playing it safe.
I think that's a problem.
They were just kind of like doing what they were told too. Like, I don't know. This whole situation sucks.
This whole situation sucks, and I think you're right. I think one of the issues with AAA gaming is what we hear constantly. It's like it feels like everybody's just playing it safe or taking ideas from the indie scene and then implementing it into their game years later, where it feels a little like, what is it, annotated or whatever. I screwed up the word, but like it's just it feels like AAA gaming, it has become a bit stale and it lacks risk. But when you see something listen, this game was not, I don't think, the risk that it wasn't the biggest risk. It's like, oh, it's a hero shooter. How many of those do we have? We got Overwatch and then a few others. But when you see risks not pan out, it just goes, well, then we'll just continue doing and making safe bets. And so it is a bummer that this studio only literally got off one game and they don't have a shot or even bring them over to Bungie or anything. It really sucks. T, I throw this over to you. Who are we blaming here? Is this old Jimbo? Is this Herman Hulst, a combination of the two?
I agree completely with Kyle. And then to just dovetail off of that, because this conversation happened on the tweet that Kyle was referencing, people are like, and like you said, Joe, it wasn't a risk because it's just another hero shooter, which I absolutely get, but the pricing model of it was absolutely a risk.
Yeah. And
I think that's really, people were really excited about it until they saw the pricing model, and then it kind of killed it in its tracks. And unfortunately, they pulled a Netflix. They did not give it enough time to even attempt to grow a player base, because it's my understanding, I didn't play it, so I guess, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. It's my understanding that people really liked the gameplay of it. They had some issues with some things, but the gameplay and the core mechanics were fun for people and they really enjoyed it. So I genuinely believe if they just let it cook a little bit, let people play it, get footage out there, get their friends involved, it might have had more of a shot. Will it have sold like gangbusters? Probably not. But could they have still made enough to potentially curb their losses? I guess we'll never know. But they didn't give it a shot. It felt like it was out there for a week, and I'm sure it was longer than that. But it felt like a week. And you're always seeing this with Netflix too, right? Like Netflix, it didn't instantly get billions of views, so we're canceling this show after one season, and they make that decision after it's been out for a month. I'm like, that makes no sense. You need to give. There's too much out there now. You need to give something time for it to find its audience. And yes, it's amazing when something pops off and a bunch of people play it right away. But the reality is we have 1,000,001 other hero shooters to play. So you need to let an audience grow with this. So whoever made those decisions is who's to blame there. And I just feel so bad for the devs because once again, they're the ones suffering the consequences for decisions they did not make.
Yeah. I think it's a whole lot of suits chasing trends. Like, I think there's blame across the board. And I saw people like, oh, yet again, like suits are getting away with it. To an extent, yes. Every exec's going to leave with his golden parachute, right? You could be, who's the guy that destroyed the Xbox One's launch? That guy went off had a golden parachute over to Zynga, right? Like, they don't get the comeuppance that we want them to have because they botched something so bad. And that's actually, I think, one of the many reasons as to why you're seeing bigger commercial things kind of start floundering is because these executives, these, suits as it were, just get recycled to other projects and they don't, capitalism is about taking risk and sometimes you fail. And sometimes when that happens, you need to recycle old ideas with new. And we're just not getting that because these suits go, oh, but our bottom line, if this doesn't work, we're going to, our bottom line's going to suffer. And it sucks. Like, is there blame for Jimbo? Yeah, he bought the studio at the end of the day. But is it also the fault of Herman Hulst? Absolutely. He told Jimbo to buy the studio, right? You guys maybe talked about it 2 weeks ago, but like the talk of like toxic positivity of like, hey, don't critique this game. These guys know what they're doing because they're multiplayer people, right? And them having ideas that, yeah, maybe worked on paper, but just didn't actually, make anything of it. I mean, that's how you have a situation with Concord, where there isn't an honest critique of this game. You're just trusting them at their word or at their resume and not actually going, well, how does this make sense? Right. So for me, we have seen people, Jimbo's gone. We have seen people like Connie Booth leave. There have been changing of the guard. And now Herman Hulst has to do some hard decisions of, okay, where do we go from here? Like, Neon Koi, which is one thing that we don't care about as gamers because, it's a mobile studio. But those people still lost their jobs.
Yeah, people still lost their jobs. It's awful. But we haven't seen anything yet from them either.
Right.
So, again, it's another thing of not even giving them a chance to put something out there.
Yeah. So I throw this over to you guys. Right now, currently, off the top of my head, Bungie's working on Marathon, which they came out the other day or earlier today. They say they're on track. They're going to be doing some more play tests next year. As a big Bungie fan, I have faith. Okay, I'll hold the line for Marathon. All right, okay, I'm there. We got Fair Games. We have Ben's game, which is going to be like a hybrid multiplayer game for what we hear, right? An online Horizon game, and maybe something else in the horizon, right? Again, just top of mind. Tegan, I could throw this over to you. What lessons does Fair Games learn?
Don't try to change the pricing model. Stick with stick with what's working. And yeah. I laugh. I shouldn't laugh, but because again, you do need to take risks, right? Like there's a reason they decided to do it that way because maybe the other model is not working as well as it used to. We do see people complaining about microtransactions and loot
Loot
crates and all
boxes,
that
yeah.
stuff, right? Like I don't play online games again, so I don't really know anything about that, but I from what I can see on the internet discourse, which must be true because I read it online,
Hell
um,
yes.
those things were frustrating people. So I think they took a risk with trying a different thing. Let's do one fee that's smaller, $40. It's less expensive than your typical $70-$80 game now, and see if it works. And it didn't. So they tried it, and now other people can know, other companies can know, all right, if we do need to try something different, let's not do that.
Yeah, because it feels like Sony learned the wrong lesson from Helldivers. Because I remember us talking about it when we first saw it, or maybe when it was about to come out. It's like this game, when you looked at Concord with its gameplay reveal, you saw there was locked characters. So perhaps the original version of this game was some type of free to play ish model, and I one would think that, oh, they saw Helldivers come in at this paid $40, and they go, oh, well, if that works, then this has to work here. And it was kind of a, tomato tomatoes type of situation, where it worked for Helldivers, but it doesn't work for Concord. Why doesn't it work for Concord? And I think the simple answer to that is because there's no game like Helldivers, where Concord, look, you have Overwatch, which is not as big as it once was, but it has a beloved community. That's free to play. You have Marvel Rivals coming out in, at this point, about a month. That has Marvel in it, right? And it has a really intriguing art style to it and direction. Free to play. And then you go, oh, $40. And all of a sudden, you've kind of just priced yourself out, where I think the model to learn from was Apex, where it's like, hey, these are all assets from a game that we made 2 years ago that didn't pan out. It's free, and we're going to compete with Fortnite this way. And it works out for them. Concord, man, it learned all the wrong lessons, unfortunately.
The difference when it comes to Apex comparison is Firewalk didn't have anything before this. So they couldn't lean on that, the assets from previous games, whatever. They built everything from the ground up. Yeah. I just really wish they gave it more time.
Yes.
Not even when it was first released, even when it was pulled. More time before this decision was made. Because in the back of my mind, I'm still thinking, there's gonna be a Concord episode on the Prime show.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
We're completely getting rid of it, getting rid of the studio. It's gone forever. But in 2 months, we're going to see a story episode in a world that no longer exists. It's a very bad PR problem that they have. And I wish they would have at least waited until that point and gone through every avenue. To me, I realized a ton of money was probably put into that game.
Sure.
And they can't let it linger too long, because then it's like sunken costs or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, you got so many people that work there. Again, that area, it's one of the most expensive areas to live in and rent from. So it's like, man, if you're Sony, you're looking at like, I'm bleeding money for what? Like, some good publicity on an episode, because you're right.
But like, part of me wishes that they leaned more into this. Again, this is just me being a selfish gamer. Leaned into making Concord into a single player game.
Yeah.
You have the characters, the in-game cutscenes with the story. They clearly had a vision for what was happening. Again, more money being put into it was not a decision they were ever going to make. Yep. But it would have been cool if they would have went that route and turned it into like didn't have to be a super long campaign, but like something that you could play.
Something more tangible than just, hey, we have cutscenes every week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I then ask this to you, Kyle. Where do we go from here? Does Sony stop the live service push? Obviously, that doesn't seem the case, because you're like, yes, they kill it now. because they, honestly, they say we're gonna continue it.
You putting Ben's game into that list of things, that's kind of like news to me. I don't think I remember hearing that.
Way back when.
brain.
I've heard
not
nothing
brain.
about Ben's game. I remember seeing one of those. I swear to God, I don't. It was one of those investor calls where it's like a hybrid multiplayer game.
Okay.
Please, no one take and run that. It's literally, I'm telling you the source. All right.
That is my memory being bad. I'm sure we talked about it a long time ago. I forgot what the question. Oh yeah, sure. No, live service. Go away. Stop. Like to have so many in the upcoming lineup be a multiplayer focused thing, and a live service thing, I think is not what the PlayStation community clearly wants outside of the Helldivers. Just, your bread and butter is single player and narrative things. It's what I love PlayStation about. That's what I kind of want. If you want to add a multiplayer mode, cool, I'm all for it. But like, why are we reinventing the wheel?
Right.
Again, like we've mentioned for weeks now, they're chasing a trend, a trend that was already old 5 years ago. Right. And they're just now deciding to get on it. These decisions should have happened a long, long time ago.
So do you think that it's the Sean Layden, Sean Layden had an interview earlier this week where he pretty much, the long and the short of it, he says that there needs to be a refocus on AA games. Of, hey, these are like your Miles Morales.
Oh, yeah.
Tegan,
yeah.
You're shaking, you're nodding your head. That's going to be the thing.
Yeah.
You think that's the case?
Yeah, because at some point we're going to hit a threshold. We're going to hit a ceiling of what we can create within a realistic budget. And I think with these companies, we keep seeing them trying to do better graphics, better this, better that, longer story, more side quests. And eventually it's not going to be, I'm blanking on the word. I need some more caffeine. It's not going to be something that you can sustain. It's not going to be sustainable. That's the word. It's not going to be sustainable. So I think focusing on smaller stories is a good idea. And I think people are learning, well, maybe I hope people are learning that it's not necessarily about the most realistic looking game. It's not necessarily about the biggest game, because we're seeing games with unique art styles, smaller games that are performing really, really well now. And people just want a good game. You will always have people that are going to complain, oh, this isn't a long enough campaign. Oh, I don't like this art style. Oh, this, oh, that. You're always going to have a very vocal group complaining about whatever you release. So focus on what you can actually sustainably create.
I mean,
and that's
look
a
at
AA
Hades.
game. Exactly.
Hades is a perfect example, which I bring this over to you, Kyle. Imagine expanding the portfolio to go, hey, what if we give, an indie studio Sly Cooper? What if we give an indie studio Jack and Daxter? What if we expand XDev to go, you know what? We're working with smaller teams on some of our most beloved IP from long ago, now forgotten, and they're maybe going to revitalize that. I think that would excite people more than just, hey, here's this Loot Crate game that we made, or if you're Ubisoft, here's this NFT game I launched this afternoon for these 5 people. I think that would be more exciting, would it not, Kyle?
I don't hate the idea, totally.
But all right,
I'd much rather indie studios make their own thing and keep innovating and coming up with new ideas, because if we're going to take smaller teams and give established IP, what new kind of fresh air is that in the indie space in video games, right? Like
I would just like a new Jack and Daxter.
I 1000% would also like to do that, but
fair.
I feel like there are some very talented support teams in Sony that can do it, like PlayStation Malaysia, or like these other teams that are already in-house that aren't making anything on their own yet, and they're just supporting, that you can give them an IP every once in a while to revitalize and bring back, because they're clearly talented. You trust them enough to help out on these other big budget things. I think that's more of the route, and I don't want to, for the lack of better words, stunt any indie devs who want to make their own
That's
new
right.
thing.
But I kind of think about it of like, hey, like put out feelers out there of like, hey, I don't know, name an indie for me, Kyle. Um,
Animal Well?
Animal Well dev. Hey, you want to go make a Loco Roco? Just put feelers out there, and I think people would
I
would gravitate to that because I feel like that's the thing that PlayStation misses right now, which is like the weird little indie game where like Sean Layden says it. He's like, didn't have to sell 1 million units
think
because it
it'd
was fun and
be.
it added to the culture. Yeah.
I would much rather it be the other way around,
Okay.
where indie devs pitch PlayStation. I have an idea for this IP, and
Oh.
PlayStation being open to that, because like I think of Bloober going to Konami, like, hey, we love Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Let us do a Silent Hill 2 remake or whatever,
Mhm.
or whatever that conversation was. Like, they clearly loved the IP so much that they wanted to do their own thing in that world.
Mhm.
I'd
Mhm.
much rather have PlayStation be like, hey, do you have an IP that we're not working on and you are super passionate about it? Come let us know, and let's hear your pitch. Let's chat instead
Let's chat.
instead of PlayStation be like, hey, make this thing. We're gonna throw a bunch of money at you,
Right.
right? Because
Yeah.
then it would become like a soulless like husk of what the IP that we love.
That's true. That's
So.
fair. All right. Hey, listen, who better to ask than Mr. Indie Guy himself? Peter.
Also, can
Hi.
we,
Peter Poole.
while we're
Yes.
talking about, okay, do we need AA games? Can we talk about the AAA studios not taking so long to make these games? Because I
Yes.
understand, I get it, but like the fact that it's been Bethesda, I freaking want an Elder Scrolls game. I love Skyrim so much, but I need another one. And I know you just came out with Starfield, but the fact that I'm not going to get another Elder Scrolls until I'm in a nursing home is genuinely making me sick. Okay?
Yeah.
I remember
And
when
I
they
will play the
announced
crap
that.
out of that game in my nursing home. But
Oh my God.
I
yeah.
don't want to be that old. I want to enjoy it when I'm young.
I remember that press conference when they announced that, and then the Starfield teaser, and I believe Andrew WK opened up the show, singing "Party Hard" on the stage.
Because it's like
We
we
used to
got
be a proper
Starfield.
country.
Now we still have to wait for the next Elder Scrolls. Who knows when I'm gonna get the next Fallout? I'm gonna be freaking 100 years old. I'm gonna be holding on instead of holding on to do my final vote in the election. I'm holding on to freaking play the next Fallout.
You're gonna be like Jimmy Carter, but waiting for Fallout 4.
Roll me in front of the system, people. Let me play this Fallout.
Yeah, no, I think you're right too. I think there has to be work behind the scenes, and it's not just AI that helps get us there. It's like, how do we have a true, honest to God conversation with ourselves going, what does this game need to be?
Mm-hmm.
How do we limit the scope? Because you see some games try to do it all or focus on the wrong thing, like how many sandwiches they could fit in a spaceship, and they forget about the game, right? A lot of critiques could be said towards that of like Naughty Dog. It's like, do I really care about the rope physics? Because I really love this narrative, and that's why I'm here for it. So, yeah, I think I not everybody could be a Kojima, and I think we need to maybe sometimes rein in some folks to make games smaller, more honed in, because I feel like they're learning the wrong lessons. Ubisoft in particular, like Valhalla is 100+ hour game, and they're like, "Oh, this worked," and it's like, "Yeah, for Valhalla, but didn't work for Outlaws." So, not everything needs to be 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 hours. I beat that drum all the time. You're 100% right. We need to, it's either you need to add more teams to get that IP out there, or you need to hone those devs that you have, rein them in, and get those things out faster,
Anything that gets me another Naughty Dog game faster.
Yep, exactly.
That's not a game that I've already played a million times.
Yeah.
Which again, don't have a problem with it. I love Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2.
Right.
I'll play them whenever. I would like to see whatever's next and not wait a whole console generation before we get one.
Yeah. And it's hard when these... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go for it.
It's hard when these studios have multiple IPs that we love, because then they release them in a rotation, and all right, it's going to take me forever to get this one, and then I have to wait even longer to get the next one, if ever, because, it's just...
I mean, like think about Nerd Chat in the chats, like Starfield 2, Joe. Like, I mean, like you and I, we love Starfield. Love to get a second one in there,
Mm-hmm.
When's that? When or even if at this point will we get it? You know, it's like, yeah, diversify, man. Diversify those teams. You know, Todd Howard can't be working. He can't be the director for all these games. Okay. The man's only got so many leather jackets, and his moisturizer will run out eventually. I promise it. So yeah, we need to grow developers more and not just rely on the old names. If that makes sense. That said, you know what? I will rely on one old name. Ooh-wee. Kyle, we got some
Are you calling
Dragon
me old?
Age.
Am I
No,
the old
no, no.
name?
No,
Transition sounded like you were calling him old.
Exactly. 1,000,000%.
No, I meant Dragon Age was the old name.
Oh, okay.
So how about this? We each read one of these reviews out here.
Okay.
Kyle, would
Okay.
you like to start with the first one?
Sure. So this is our Dragon Age Veilguard review roundup. The first one comes from IGN. Leanna Heifer gave it a 9 out of 10. Dragon Age The Veilguard refreshes and reinvigorates a storied series that stumbled through its middle years, and leaves no doubt that it deserves its place in the RPG pantheon. The next Mass Effect is going to have a very tough act to follow, which is not something I ever imagined I'd be saying before I got swept away on this adventure.
That review was so good. This one, even better. Rob Purchase gives it a 10 out of 10 over on Eurogamer, a fantasy role-playing game of astonishing spectacle. This is the best Dragon Age and perhaps Bioware has ever been. Ooh, machi machi.
With Mass Effect 2 out there? What?
Mass Effect 2 exists. Miranda's my wife. Tali, she's on the side.
Thane?
Oh my god, Thane.
Ugh.
What a goddamn heartthrob. Everybody's hot in that show. Anyway.
Everybody, it's not fair.
Yeah.
Jordan Midler over at VGC gives it a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
Dragon Age The Veilguard feels like BioWare playing it too safe. While it nails what it does best, like the excellent cast and interpersonal relationships, from a gameplay perspective, it feels out of date.
Ooh-wee.
And Push Square gave it an 80. Dragon Age The Veilguard isn't quite BioWare back to its absolute best, but it is the most cohesive and emotionally engaging RPG that the studio has delivered since Mass Effect 3. Its shift to crunchy action combat is an improvement over Inquisition's middle-of-the-road approach, and although the game feels a little light on meaningful player choice, the storytelling pulls no punches when it actually matters. This is a gorgeous and gripping adventure, backed by a cast of endearing heroes and deliciously devious villains.
Ooh, I like that. Deliciously devious.
Good.
All right. Okay. Am I going to find a muscle mommy that's going to break me in Act 3? We're going to find out. The reviews are in. It seems like it's a great game. I'm very excited by this news. T, are you picking this up day one? Are you trying to be a responsible adult? Where's your hype for Dragon Age?
Oh, I'm never a responsible adult, please. you never have to accuse me of that. No, I'm absolutely picking this up. I have not played a single Dragon Age game, but I did play all of the Mass Effects and I loved them. I actually almost bought the collector's edition just on the off chance that I did love it, and I was a responsible adult and I'm regretting it. I didn't buy it because I said, you've never played this. What if you hate this? So I didn't get it, and I should have, because I am so excited. I feel like there have been a wide range of reviews, but most of them very, very positive. And the ones that are more negative, I don't think those critiques are going to impact me, or I don't think those are be things that I necessarily care about as much.
Yeah,
so
fair.
I'm very excited. I will definitely be going, and I think I'm going to get a physical version of this. I think I'm going to go to the store and buy it physical tomorrow.
Yes, same. I'm picking it up physical. The reason as to why PlayStation has yet to fix the points in your wallet type of reward for PlayStation Stars, which you have to re-up now. You have to like sign a waiver going your points will disappear in a year if you don't use them. Come on, Sony, what are you doing? But yeah, no, this is something I'm going to be picking up from GameStop. I got a few games to trade in, and I'll be jumping on that. And then I got the Steelbook coming in, because you could buy the Steelbook just by itself. And if you don't know, T, I'm a slut for Steelbooks. You give me a Steelbook.
Oh God, I love a Steelbook.
It's
Where's the Steelbook from?
It's a Walmart exclusive.
Okay.
So you could buy it just like the $40, or you can. It's like $100 with the game.
A $40 Steelbook?
Worth every penny. It's a steelbook. It's pretty, dude. It's pretty.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Oh, it's good.
We used to be a society where it was a pre-order bonus. What are we doing?
I know. And you know what? Here's the disgusting thing. I walked into GameStop. This is the sign of the times. I go, hey, you have any of those Call of Duty steelbooks? Because it was a pre-order bonus, sometimes they were lying around, right?
Yeah.
He's like, they weren't even enough for all the reserves. Yikes. So Kyle,
which makes me nervous because I am planning on picking this up tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go to a GameStop so I can trade some things so I can afford it. I'm worried they don't have enough copies there. So, and my closest GameStop is 45 minutes away. And I'm afraid by the time I get there, they'll be gone.
Can you call them and say, hey?
I did. They would not give me a number today.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, it's GameStop. We should know better. But yeah, I'm very excited. I enjoyed Inquisition. I think I put like 40 to 50 hours in it. I never finished it, but that was like my first entry into Dragon Age, and I loved it. I'm interested to play this with the way the combat is, more like God of War, Souls, action RPG kind of combat stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, if it's got a good story, which seemingly it does, and amazing Bioware characters, seemingly does, I'm in. I can't wait to create my what's it called? The Rook? Our Rooks?
Yep.
I'll create my Rook. Always create a female, a lady. That's how I play these games. So I'm excited to make her look super hot and flirt with all the characters and have a great time.
Hell yes. I'm going to try to make my character straight up my paladin from Baldur's Gate 3. I'm going to try to make her the same high elven, like this. It's literally same character, just different fantasy world. I just love the hair physics. Just look wild.
Gorgeous.
It's like, why would I rob myself making a dude character? Like, it's just, I want to wave my hair around. Like, maybe it's me, maybe it's Maybelline, but being a paladin. Ooh-wee. Kyle Stevenson, it is time for some flash news, but it starts off with a question. Gotta go fast. All right, I forgot.
Can you run fast to your costume and go put that on first?
Well, that's right. We gotta get to Marcus's question. He goes, "Congrats on episode 400, Joe and Kyle and Light. I'm beyond excited and proud of what you three have accomplished in all this time. My favorite memories, of course, Spider-Bit showing up for episodes, Joe breaking into Andrew Huss's house. So my question,
I think that's why PlayStation doesn't talk to us, by the way.
Yeah." Is when can we expect another appearance from Spider-Bit, or perhaps even someone else who is just as famous? With that, Kyle, listen, don't read the second question here, or the second little thing here, because I got a funny joke for that. But if you could handle the first flash news and the third flash news, and hopefully by that time my costume is on.
Okay.
I gotta turn my cam off.
Thanks for the hieroglyphic instructions.
Yeah,
I am both intrigued and terrified.
Man, who do I want on? What bit do I definitely don't want Andrew Hulst back. Or that bit back, because I generally feel like that's why PlayStation doesn't talk to us.
You're gonna have to fill me in on all of that after the show.
Well, I'll tell you right now. Everyone knows Andrew Hulst, former Sony exec. He's the one that introed Kojima on the E3 stage for Death Stranding years ago. Joe had a bit where he would every week break into his house to get the listener questions, because they were all sent to Andrew Hulst's house, and it got more chaotic every single time, to the point where he would call his family dumb and make really weird threats. So like, I feel like that's why we're in trouble.
He's got put on the naughty list.
Exactly, and he took me with him. I don't know, Spider-Man would be fun. Maybe Kaitos. I did the Kratos red strip over my eye one episode, so I called myself Kaitos. Bring that back. I don't know. We'll see what happens. According to Joe's instructions, this is the first one that we have to talk about. Also, really quickly, it's the flash news. Did you get the anniversary controller the other day?
Nope.
I couldn't
did
get
not.
in either.
I was stuck in the waiting room for like 30 minutes, and then I finally got in and sold out. I had it up on my phone, my laptop, and my desktop.
I hate it. I hate it here so much.
So dumb.
Same.
So
I
dumb.
couldn't even get in. Oh yeah. Anyways, Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered is also out during the time of this show on audio platforms, not yet for the live chat over on YouTube. And it sits at an 85 on OpenCritic. Ta Mali 2 writes in, "Hey guys, congrats on 400 episodes. Here's to 400 more. With the release of Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered this Thursday, I've been seeing a lot of comparisons of it with the original game, and the difference is impressive. I never replayed the original game with the hopes that they'd remaster it, so I'm super excited to get back into the amazing world of Horizon. My question, what aspect of the game are you most excited to revisit once you have the time and money to do so?" Like, what's the one part of the original game that you're excited to replay?
I don't know what part I'm most excited for, but I have the part I'm most dreading. Because I'm just so excited for all of it. I love, that's one of those games I just love getting lost in the world and doing all the side stuff and all the exploration and putting the main story on the back burner. But the one area that I always get really scared when I get to is, I forget the name of the zone, but it's the giant pit that has the rock breaker in it. And you have to go in there for part of something, I think, to get like your gold fast travel pack or something like that. And it's this giant, I think, quarry. And it's the first time you face one of those, and it always kicks my booty. And I am dreading that. It's going to be beautiful, but also I don't want to do that again.
Yeah, I feel you.
But I'm just excited to see the landscaping, the vistas. I can't say what I'm most excited for because I'm genuinely just excited for all of it, except for that one part.
Yep. I'm excited to re-platinum it all over again because the trophy, it doesn't auto pop, which is fun and fine.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love that. So you'll replay everything again is something I'm very looking forward to. I have not replayed the Frozen Wilds DLC since it came out, so I'm excited to play that again and have it be super impressive looking. The one main area or one thing in the game that, outside of like facial animations, because boy, they needed work, I'm excited to see them on Forbidden West level. I can't wait to see the cauldrons. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, my favorite part of that first game, with the first time you go in one of those.
Guys.
Oh boy, here we go.
I can't see, and you're gonna hear a lot of crumpling of paper. I'm gonna try. Are you guys ready?
Okay.
Oh, we're ready.
Last guess. Everyone in chat. Okay. What do we
Can
think
you hear
Joe
the fan,
is?
by the way? Yeah, last guess.
I have one more guess, but I don't want to guess it and be wrong because
it's so hot in here.
I feel like it's either Mario and Yoshi.
Okay.
We know it's a fan. We know it's like an inflatable
You can hear it right now, yeah.
I can't hear the fan, actually.
Oh, you can hear the fan, okay. Oh, shit, it fell.
I think it has something to do with politics based off of the next. And I saw a costume. And if it's that, I'm going to die, but I don't want to say what it is.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna wait.
My last guess is he's like an Among Us inflatable.
Oh, that's a good guess too.
Okay, are we ready?
I guess so.
Okay, let me. 1 second.
Can you even see the mouse to click your camera back on?
I can't. Oh wait, someone's yelling at me. No, I'm good actually. Thank you though. I did have an assistant. I was able to do it by myself. All right, everybody, are you ready?
Oh, we're ready. Drum roll.
Halloween costume, and it's a little bit too big.
Just for this show, by the way. I don't think you're going trick or treating or anything.
It's a visual joke for an audio podcast.
Oh, you're right!
Yeah.
I love it.
Hello.
That's so good.
I'm falling and stuff.
I love it.
You'd be able to see me more. Let me try to push the camera back.
So for audio listeners, Joe is in an inflatable Fall Guys costume.
Yes.
The skeleton one.
Yeah. It was
great.
cheaper, and the one with the crown, it was gonna come in on November 5th.
You could have worn that when you went to go vote. Go to the polling
You can't
place.
even know. You're right. Wear a little red hat.
No, don't wear a red hat.
Oh, it's topical. Yeah, so here I am, a little fall guy. So
That's very, very nice.
Yeah. Okay. Thought I'd get a bigger laugh. To be honest. It's $40. I thought I'd get at least a round of applause.
You can't see us, but we were laughing really hard.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
I love how like
the eyes are staring at me.
Like the Fall Guy's face, right? It's big, it's circular.
Yeah.
But I can clearly see your head is at the top. So
Yeah,
every once in a while, like your nose will pop up. Wait to see.
Yep.
The proportions are off, and it's killing me.
I feel like I'm like Ace Ventura when he's in the rhino.
Yep.
I am sweating. This can't go on for much longer. I'm very excited. So it's not an auto pop? I gotta platinum the game all over again?
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah. Are you gonna wear that outfit while you re-platinum Horizon?
Honestly, I'm gonna take it off right now. This is I thought I'm gonna
you
make it
better
last.
at least pass out candy in it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll do something of the sort. Oh, I think Mama Babbit really wants to see the design. All right, you guys talk about the third Flash news. I'll be right back.
Oh, $40 well spent, Joe. Great job.
Well, next con he goes to, he can dress up and go.
Yeah, we got to make sure he's like booked for like some serious appointments too. Zarmir Khan writes in over at PS Lifestyle. Game review bombing could be targeted by new FTC rule. Companies might be forced to address video game review bombing following a new set of rules.
Right up here. Just take a picture because you got to take it off and do the pod. Oh my God, it's adorable. All right. Love you all very much. It looks so good.
I hope everyone can hear this at home. I don't think.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Good. Okay, cool.
We heard Mama Baby go, "Oh, that's so adorable." Oh my God.
The zipper stuck from the inside. Okay.
Joe, you are still wearing your clothes, correct? Because we can see your reflection. I just want to warn you.
Yeah, no.
All right, good.
Not that kind of show,
Not
Joe.
That kind of show.
Oh, I spilled some water. That's what fell over.
Oh, yeah. Anyway,
man.
the ruling targets fake online reviews and testimonials, and review bombing could fall under several types of fake reviews that FTC's final ruling specifically highlights. As pointed out by DualShockers, FTC Chair Lena Khan published 6 quote-unquote prohibited practices that companies will face repercussions for. Although game review bombings, which primarily take place on Valve's Steam and review aggregator Metacritic, are carried out by players rather than companies, they are evidently fake reviews on platforms hosting those reviews may be held responsible for them. FTC defines fake reviews as those written by people, quote, who did not have an actual experience, end quote, with the product. Companies are barred from buying or offering incentives for both positive and negative reviews and cannot publish reviews by those associated with the business, including employees, without disclosing a conflict of interest. Here's where it gets particularly interesting. The rule targets, quote-unquote, anyone, be it a company or an individual, who sells or buys, quote, fake indicators of social media influence, like followers, and then use them to influence others. To reiterate, the FTC rules mostly apply to businesses, not individuals venting on social media.
That's how much I was sweating in that thing. I was only in there for 3 minutes. You kidding me?
Hearing Mama Badbit when I was trying to read the story.
So sweet.
Was so great.
So sweet.
Yeah, because I told her before, I was like, you're gonna have to like zip me up. And so like I was able to do it myself, humble brag, I'm a grown man. And so I thought I muted, but it's a cute little moment. So this is awesome. Because
I love this.
I'm sick of the review bombs, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Every time
I do wish there were
be the next one, you know.
I wish there were individual consequences too, because there are certain Twitter accounts.
Yep.
One that begins with a G that has a little fake avatar in particular that I think could use some consequences for inciting.
That whole group of grifters, I think, should just be banned off of the earth completely.
Yeah, I'm tired of them. Truthfully, that's why when I see this news, and I'm now looking at the light, oh my goodness, this is, whew, Jesus. Anyway, um, you know, I feel like this is a good measure to stop those people from doing needless harm and to maybe even give some real information that's needed. Like, Steam scores are pretty good indicators of how communities are feeling, and you legitimately have to buy that game and it'll tell you how long you've played that game for as you give your review. That's awesome to see people just like
really quick, Joe.
Yeah.
John Wismer in chat says, "What is considered a review bomb exactly?" So, if you're not familiar, it's when a game, it's either day of release or anything that comes out beforehand that's not accessible to the public yet. People will go and write a review and give it a purposely bad score because they're basing it off of a preview or a review that they read. And so for like these quote unquote influencers on social media will be like, oh my God, that person is too diverse. We hate this game. And then everyone flocks to a Metacritic or Steam and will write that's the reason to give the game a 0 because there's somebody that looks different from them and they don't like
it's
it.
woke slop or whatever.
Exactly.
You see it in the YouTube comments all the time. It's stupid.
It's very similar to, like, I know movies get it a lot too. Like they'll bomb like a Rotten Tomatoes for like the audience score or whatever.
I'm a Star Wars fan. We know all about that.
Yeah, so it's an unfortunate thing that a lot of people that have nothing better to do, that's what they like to do in their free time. It sucks. I'm hoping that this leads to a more policeable kind of situation and there's actual consequences for doing this, because I hate it.
It's bad. So I love this news. A step in the right direction. I want to see more of it. All right, here's one thing I just found interesting. Okay,
really quickly to add to
please.
this.
Yeah,
I would love for them to include people using other review scores and twisting it to fit their bad narrative.
Yes,
because we're seeing it with Veilguard a little bit. The amazing skill ups review, it's not super glowing, gives valid criticism on the game and why it didn't work, and those same Twitter grifters are using it as a way to justify the way that they are being hateful bigots that they are. And that should be included in this, where you can't use a review to spin it around to fit whatever you want to say about it.
It's so frustrating whenever there's a review for a game out and it's like a popular game or one that is, targeted. You have like these conversations of like, you didn't give the review to the right people. They're holding it back on purpose. It's insidious. It's like, that's not, and Kyle, you work in the industry as PR, you hand out codes. That's not how this works. And then on the other hand, it's like, if, they give the code out to everyone, they're fluffing the score. It's like, man, it's
literally
it's such
when I have codes
nonsense.
To hand out, I give code. End of transaction. If I have to follow up with like, hey, where's your coverage or something, if somebody's asking for it, or if we are doing a like a paid sponsorship thing with influencers, which does happen, that will require some follow-ups. Very most likely it's just like, here's a review code, here's a key for you to play on stream, hope you have a good time, end of transaction kind of thing. And I hope they dig it, and I hope it's less that I hope they dig it, because I hope they enjoy the game. It's more, I hope they actually play it on stream or make a video of it, because it's very tough out there for the small indie games. So any sort of coverage of any size is wonderful. So it's very much like, at least the way we do it over at Vicarious, is we pick people who have played similar games or have an affinity for that genre, and that's who we target and hand out keys to if they fit the criteria, and fingers crossed that they actually make something on it. But there's like so many games coming out all the time. Like, it's so hard out there. But yeah, not everyone gets codes. Like, there is a limit.
Yeah, there is a limit, and sometimes they're frugal with it, sometimes they're very liberal with it, and it doesn't mean, oh, they think it's bad and they're holding it back, or they think it's bad and they're handing it to everybody. It's just sometimes you get more codes that are generated, sometimes you don't, and codes do cost money, and a lot of people don't realize that. So, all right, this next bit is political, but I had a funny joke for it. Okay, gang, ready for this? All right. Have you seen this or heard about this? Kamala Harris and Tim Walz launched their own Fortnite map. This comes from Blair Mardell over at GameSpot. As of today, there are 7 days left in the campaign. 5. Come on, Blair. Jeez. In the U.S. presidential election. Now, the Democratic ticket, headlined by Vice President Kamala Harris and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, are courting gamer vote by launching their own map in Fortnite by entering the code 7331553666547. The name of the map is Freedom Town, USA, and it may be the most pointed political use of Fortnite since it launched in 2015. The Harris team has also posted a quick trailer of Freedom Town, including a look at some fighters in patriotic gear. Freedom Town has been planned to include Harris's campaign promises geared towards small business and first-time homeowners, as well as a pledge to focus on affordable housing. Blah, blah, blah. This is all politics stuff. The Fortnite content creators, including Jordan Huskers Thomas, Maud Morg Himlas, and Kyrie K. Harris, will have dedicated streams set in Freedom Town. Who are these people? That's my first question.
I'm not in the Fallout circle, so I don't know.
What is this? What is going on here? Okay.
Fallout is on the brain. Fortnite circuit.
The most important thing here, though, gang, okay, is that Harris may not play many games herself. Fake gamer. Fake gamer. Where's the controversy there? Walz has acknowledged that he's a big Sega Dreamcast fan over 2 decades ago, especially for the game Crazy Taxi. Earlier this week, Walz played Crazy Taxi while appearing on a stream with Congresswoman AOC. During that appearance, Walz acknowledged that the video game developer made a Crazy Taxi mod that includes Governor as a playable character.
I love it.
This is crazy. It's just a point of like how popular Fortnite is that they're appealing to the 13-year-old vote.
Well, also to be fair,
Uh-huh.
was it the last election? In 2020, AOC played Among Us.
Right, that was during lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like this isn't the first time, but it's super cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's really interesting how they're like trying to interact, with the youth scene, with Twitch, with streaming. And like this campaign is very self-aware in that regard, which is actually really refreshing to see as like someone who is a political junkie as such is myself. So it's interesting to see how they're trying to get after the youth vote. That said, though, this is my joke, and I'm really proud of it. It's why I have this in the doc. We're one step away from a presidential debate, 1v1ing on Rust. Also, where's my Bernie Sanders skin?
Yes. You need the email of him. You need the email of him sitting in the folding chair.
Yep, that's his emo. He pulls out the chair, he just sits on it. You know, the map is not equal for everyone.
I would love a Bernie skin in WWE, where him running in with the briefcase to cash in.
I'm sure somebody's made it. I'm sure somebody's made it.
Jeez Louise. So yeah, interesting stuff. I
love it. Like it's when you really think about it, gaming is still relatively new for a lot of people, especially of their ages, and using it in a way to reach people and tell people about voting is, I think, super, super important. So I love this way more than other people going on really racist podcasts to talk about things.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. Call me old-fashioned.
And as a previous history teacher, anytime you can bring attention to voting, it is good. So if you, regardless of if someone is not thinking that they're on that side, they're still hearing about it because they're playing the game and they're still getting their attention brought up to voting. And I think that is really, really important. more so this election than I think in previous ones. But this is a great way to, like you said, get that younger audience, because typically the younger audience is the one that is not registering to vote, that doesn't see the importance of their vote. And the reality is their vote is important and you need to get out there and vote. So even if people on, certain sides are looking at this and being like, it's still bringing attention to the fact that there is an election happening and that you need to vote and your vote matters.
Do you want Freedom Town to go into the black hole again? Do you? Then go vote.
That's right. Gosh darn it.
This is also a reminder of everyone listening. Go vote.
Go vote.
Please.
Go vote your conscience, be sensible out there, folks.
Just the miss of my tea.
That's right. All right, everybody. It's time. Let's get back into it. PlayStation Plus monthly games for November are Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged, Ghostwire Tokyo, and Death Note Killer Within. Oh, what do you feel about this month, T? Is this a good month or what?
I think so. Ghostwire Tokyo is one of the ones that's on my backlog that I was always interested in, but I feel like the reviews were not exactly where I thought they were going to be, so I didn't go insta buy it. So this is one of those games that I could see myself playing now that I have access to it for my monthly game.
I guess.
And I don't know anything about Death Note, but that sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's one of them animes, and that's all as far as I know.
That's all I know as well.
What about you, Kyle? What do you feel about this month?
I think it's an okay month. I've platinum Ghostwire. I think if you play Ghostwire and don't go for the platinum, you're gonna have a much better time.
Okay.
There's just a rarely you have to collect all the ghosts in the entire world, and it's very hard to find out where they are.
No guides? You're not using a walkthrough?
No, I had to.
Picks?
No, I had to, but it's just very time consuming and it wasn't a whole lot of fun. But the story is cool. It's a very interesting concept. I've heard great things about the Hot Wheels games.
Yeah,
it's cool to check those out. I'm sure Owen would love it because he likes his Hot Wheels. So.
Oh hell yeah!
I will never play the Death Note game, so that just doesn't interest me. But that's cool.
None of us are weebs. That's fair. And listen, if you are a weeb, more respect to you. That said, Hot Wheels Unleashed, the first game, really fun time. Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged, I'll be checking that out for sure. All right, some just quick stuff here, gang. Just quick stuff. The PlayStation 5 Pro is not compatible with the PlayStation 5 Slim faceplates like Mark Cerny said that it would be in his little presentation.
Shocker!
Sony to release new covers for more powerful console. This comes from Sammy Barker at Push Square in a statement issued to our friends at IGN. Sony has officially confirmed existing PlayStation 5 Slim covers will not fit the Pro console. Spokesman said PS5 console covers are not compatible with the PS5 Pro. However, players will be able to swap out different console covers for the Pro when they become available in the future. If you already own a set of faceplates, then you will have to replace them if you want to attach them onto the new console. I feel like Lando. This deal keeps getting worse every time. What are we doing?
It's almost like you should have waited. You should have just made the Slim the Pro.
I don't know. But listen, by the way, I don't know if we said it in the beginning of the show, but next week's show, it will be on Thursday and not Wednesday, our normal time, because it is the PlayStation 5 Pro release day. So we'll have a brief impressions on the show where y'all ask me a whole bunch of questions about it, and I'll answer them as best as I can. So again, expect it, live show Thursday, on all feeds Friday. That said, this comes from our friend Kami, and it quotes Satya Nadella. Black Ops 6 has been the biggest Call of Duty release, setting a record for day one players, as well as Game Pass subscriber ads on launch day. Unit sales on PlayStation and Steam were also over 60% year over year. This comes from a Microsoft earnings call. Also, Satya said, this is about a week ago, more games are going to be coming to PlayStation. So, those rumors of oh, it's just a few. No, let's get that whole slate, baby. It is what it is. Um, someone in the comments is gonna yell at me about it. Awesome for Black Ops, and then more Black Ops news. Black Ops 6 is adding an infected mode and Nuketown later this week on Friday. That said, y'all, it's time for what you've been playing. T, I'm gonna throw it over to you. What have you been playing, Miss?
I finally started the first Black Ops, and I am
Yes.
loving it. I am loving it, although
Yes.
it's killing me, and obviously no spoilers, but it is killing me not knowing what those freaking numbers are. What are the numbers that I'm hearing in my head? I want answers. And I'm so
Oh,
excited to keep playing. I cannot wait. I'm having a blast with it. I really am.
yeah.
I don't know when this one came out, but I know it was a 360 game still, and it still feels so good. It still feels
Yeah.
so good.
I think 2012, if I'm not mistaken. It
Okay.
or maybe even earlier,
on
like
it.
20, yeah, maybe 08. And yeah, it feels really great. The
Yeah.
campaign is wonderful.
What if
Oh
I
my
told
goodness.
you Black Ops 1? Oh, wait, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Please hold.
Okay. I'm
November
nervous.
2010.
2010.
Oh. All right.
Okay.
For PS3, 360, and the Nintendo Wii.
Shout out to the Wii.
Interesting.
Shout out to it.
So I'm loving it. I also did the first part of the first chapter for The New Life is Strange.
Nice.
So I haven't finished the first chapter, but I had a lot of fun with it, but I don't know if I'm going to continue it on my channel because the toxicity around that game right now, I
That's
just don't want
fair.
to deal with it. I think I'm
That's
just going to
fair.
play it on my own time because
Yeah.
I don't want to be swayed by that. I don't want to be dealing with toxicity and then have it ruin my experience. I want to be able to make my own opinions on it. And I'm worried if I keep putting it out there on the internet, people are going to be giving me unsolicited opinions, and I just don't.
And spoilers.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
just again, there are people that are very passionate about the story, and because it doesn't go the way they want it to, they are very angry, and they're taking that out on creators that are playing it, which I don't why. And I don't have the emotional bandwidth for that right now, so I don't think I'm going to put a pin in that one. I think,
You
which is
could have
unfortunate.
said, you could have replaced Life is Strange with Star Wars, and it would have
Yeah,
made
yeah,
total sense.
Yep.
It would have been the same. Yeah, it's such a bummer. I'm excited to get into that. I know reviewers are also kind of mixed on the game as well, but
Mhm.
I think that's going to be a Black Friday pickup for me.
Yes.
I love Life is Strange so much. So yeah, when I see the discourse, because like spoilers don't really bother me much when it's like game related. I was just like, really, guys, we're fighting over this. God damn it. He's like, we can't have anything nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else you've been playing?
Nope, that's it.
Fair enough. What about you, Kyle? The stash man himself.
I platinum
It
never.
looks good on him. I hate how good it looks.
Yeah. I platinum never.
Ooh.
What a game.
Yeah.
Game with no dialogue. I'm not going to spoil any of the narrative. At the beginning stages, obviously weeping like a baby because that's what I do when I play these types of games. The beginning of it, I will say I wasn't totally a fan of the gameplay aspects of it. It felt very basic. But as the game progresses, as the game progresses, it just keeps getting added to, and to the point where like I had so much fun doing the platforming puzzles later on in the game, and they're very thought provoking. It is gorgeous. I loved being able to like pet Neva whenever you want. That was very nice. I love having a dedicated button to just call out to Neva. It's really really cool that when you press the button to call out to Neva or Neva, it goes back and forth. Like I don't know which one's the right one, but it came strictly out of the DualSense, so it felt very very personal whenever you called out instead of it coming through the TV speakers, which I loved. Man, and it's like you can do it in like one sitting. It's like a 4-hour thing, so it's a short experience. Nomada Studios, my God, you know how to make video games. It's very, very, very good.
Yeah, I put about 40 minutes into it, and because I have certain things that I have to deal with, with Marty passing away and stuff. I had to take a good break, but I'm gonna be coming back to it in a week.
Yeah.
Once I get the Black Ops plat, I'm gonna go for it.
Okay.
But you've been playing another game though, right?
Yeah, I platinumed that one today. What?
Ooh.
Whoa, what's going on? It's almost like having a week off. I get to do fun things.
This is new.
Shout out to Blumhouse Games and 47PR for the code. But I got to play Fear the Spotlight from Cozy Game Pals, and another phenomenal game that it came out at the perfect time. If you're looking for a Halloween game to play, this is the one. I don't want to spoil too much narratively, so I'll give you the beginning of it and the story that it sets up. But you play as Vivian. You're a high schooler, and you're with your friend Amy, and you've snuck into school late at night, and the whole goal is you're going to the library to perform a seance because that's something you want to do. Things happen, and the narrative is so fun and creepy. It's like just the right amount of like terror. Like it doesn't go too hard. It's not gory. It's not bloody. It's very suspenseful. There's not any combat. It's very like Resident Evil puzzle focused and stealth. And the visuals and aesthetic of it, like a PS1 game, is chef's kiss. It's
nice,
amazing. A game you can beat in 2.5 hours.
Oh wow!
It's a super quick thing.
Okay.
If you've played it, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That's all I'm gonna say. Because I'll tell you guys afterwards. I don't want to spoil for anybody else, but there's a really fun thing that I wish more games did that they do in this one, and man, it's really, really special. If this is the level of quality that Blumhouse Games is going to be putting out with like their horror games, I'm day one for all of them. Like this is
awesome.
So good. I can't recommend it any higher. It's like, again, Halloween. You don't want to watch a scary movie? Play this one. It's great.
Okay. How much is it? Do you know by any chance?
I don't, but I don't think it's a ton.
Okay. Because honestly,
right
I might. Yeah, I might jump on this because I need more spooky in my life right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. And you like a nice short game? Make game shorter, please.
Yeah.
Nice
$20.
easy plat is an $20. Okay.
Yeah, atmospheric third-person horror game.
All right, I'm in. Let's go.
Yep.
Well, this one, pretty big deal, gang. Code provided by Activision. I've been playing Black Ops 6, and guys, I'm about to say something really, really crazy. Please bear with me. This is going to be, when we talk about like Game of the Year stuff, this is going to be really high on my top 10 list. This is really good, man. First off, we tend to think of Call of Duty. It's like, oh, it's Call of Duty. It's like Madden, but it truly isn't. Like, there's so much that makes a Call of Duty game. Like your campaign, you got your zombies, and then you got multiplayer, and then you got Warzone. Like there are 4 games inside this one unit, and sometimes it hits on all cylinders. Sometimes a Call of Duty game it doesn't, right? Last year was an example of just a time where it doesn't. The campaign was very lackluster. The multiplayer just felt like more of a add-on / remaster of Modern Warfare 2. And it just felt like it wasn't pushing the boundaries. Black Ops 6 pushes the boundaries of not just its respected genre, but it experiments with others so damn well, at least in its campaign. Every reviewer will tell you the ending is something that it's hard to believe that they pulled off, but it's even more hard to believe how they pulled it off on the PS4, because that's the version I was playing, because that's the only version with a platinum. And my goodness, they done did it.
Yeah,
so
why?
because they treat it like a DLC pack on PS5 as like it's like all the Call of Duties. This is the Call of Duty. It's dumb. That being said, though, what isn't dumb is this campaign is so darn good. Now, yes, it's a popcorn action flick. It knows what it is, but the story is so darn just well told.
Can I interject real quickly?
Yeah.
You texted me something while you were playing.
Mm-hmm.
I have zero interest in playing a Call of Duty game ever again. Mm-hmm. But you were like, man, somebody played this and also played Control, and you could totally tell.
Yeah.
And that has me intrigued.
Like one of the levels definitely feels like, hey, we loved what they did with Control. We really love what they did with Prey, especially what was it? I'm gonna mess up the name, the DLC. But like we love what they did with Prey. We love the aesthetic of Control. And how do we put our own spin on that? And halfway through this game, it does take this turn that I didn't expect a Call of Duty game of all games to turn. And it definitely plays on some, like, it echoes some points of the original Black Ops and why we loved it, right? Like, trust no one type of vibes. But every single level and every single mission, one in particular that was my favorite, it's a heist mission. And that's all I'm going to say. And you switch off from these characters seamlessly, doing each and every one of these tasks. And by the end of it, it's like, this is Casino Royale. Like, this is stellar. Every mission does something different. And it's not just like, here's a corridor of bad guys, shoot them. So much fun. Of course, yeah, there's a lot of like, suspension of disbelief in certain points and certain missions. You're like, how are you guys are, come on, this? Okay. But it really, it starts in no time flat. And it was so compelling to me that while I was playing T, I was actually jealous of you because I'm like, oh, she's doing it right. I should have played Black Ops 1, 2, 3. Like I'm like, Cold War in particular, because I want to know more of these characters. This was a really good time. Zombies typically isn't my thing, so I played around with it a bit. I'll play more of it for the platinum, but truth be told, I didn't really touch it much. What I did get into extensively, and I have thoughts on and some shame to be shared with y'all, is the multiplayer. Holy Christ. This mechanically is some of the most sound Call of Duty has ever been. On a mechanic level, the Omni movement is not just something that is, a marketing phrase being thrown around. It 100% changes the way this game is played and the speed in which it's played. So this Call of Duty is not going to be for everyone. That's for sure. Time to kill is very low, but the Omni movement means the action is non-stop. So you really have to be on your A game 100% of the time. Mechanically, stellar. Maps wise, this is probably one of the weaker entries. There are a couple really good maps, but a lot of them, the problem with it right now, what people are complaining about is it's either the spawn points are boinked, where there are times where I'm getting literally spawn camped. I'm spawning, dying, and finally being able to start joining the fray. Or it's that the maps are too small and everyone's too fast because of Omni movement, that everybody's just getting to one side of the map so quickly that it's throwing off the spawn points. So it's a bit of a mess in that regard. So for me, as someone who does play Call of Duty pretty much yearly at this point, with some exceptions, this is one of the best packaged Call of Duty experiences that I have ever played. This is one of, if not, will be one of the considered the best Call of Duty out there. If they can fix the spawning issues, you have a game that definitely sets the bar for the next entries to come. This is really top-notch stuff. If I were to like go with my gut, I think IGN's right. Like I would be giving this baby a 9 out of 10. That's how much
That makes me really excited.
The campaign, man, is something else. It's truly, I get it. Like people write it off. Please don't write it off just because it's Call of Duty. Go play it at Game Pass, wherever you can play it. play it. It's worthy of your time. Definitely. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Any questions there, folks, or shall we move on to the drop? Fair enough. All right.
I'll take the drop. I'll let you do the voice or whatever, because the ones in the dock are from last week still.
Oh, is it? Oh, really? Is that the last week's?
Yep. That's okay. I got them all pulled
Okay,
up.
fair enough. Prepare the drop. Here are the latest steals and deals coming to the PlayStation storefront. Kyle Stevenson, take it away.
Real fishing days of summer. Vengeance Hunters, Deathbound, Accepted by Death. All came out on the 28th. On the 29th, Life is Strange Double Exposure. Phasmophobia is finally on consoles. Can we all play Phasmophobia together one night?
I would love that, please.
I used to play it on Steam with the 6-1 Indie Crew a bunch, and I'm very excited that it's on console, and I don't have to sit here and play on my computer.
I haven't played it yet because it was only PC, so I'm excited.
It's real fun. Way of the Hunter, Wild Expeditions, Monster High, Skulltimate Secrets, on the 29th. Today, as of recording, October 30th, and full disclosure, this next game is a Vicarious PR game. It's not one of mine, but it's just one that we are working with. Vampire Hunters, Retreat to Enon. That's it for the 30th. Tomorrow on Halloween, Dragon Age, The Veilguard, Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, Shadows of the Damned, Hella Remastered, Clock Tower Rewind, Wanderer, The Fragments of Fate, Totally Spies, Cyber Missions, Redacted, which is the name of the game. It's not anything clever going on. The name of the game is Redacted. Blasphemous 2, Mea Culpa, I believe that's DLC. Vampire Survivors Ode to Castlevania.
Oh, nice.
Slime 3K, Rise Against Despot, Human Fall Flat VR, Gundam Breaker 4, it's a story mission DLC. Guilty Gear Strive, Queen Dizzy, Monospace Lovers, and Raiden Nova on the 31st. Right. And then Friday, November 1st, there's only a couple. Pharmasia, Albatross, and Arrow the Acrobat, Rascal Rival Revenge.
Say that 5 times fast.
I can't believe there's another Arrow the Acrobat game coming out. Is this like a remaster? I only know this from, again, we're all kind of funny fans. Game Showdown. It was an answer that they had to draw the mascot. Like the bat character. I guess there's a new game coming out. That's crazy.
Good enough. Yeah, look at that. All right, Kyle. All right, T. Let's do this. It's time for the last segment of the show, but our favorite segment. It's time for the Sony Pony Express.
First bit of questions, comments, celebration of the 400th episode, writing in, comes from Cowboy Danger D. Just stopping by to say happy 400th episode. Thanks for being one of my favorites. Here's to 400 more.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cowboy Danger D.
Shiny side up, friend.
Shiny side up. M9 Prime. Hey guys, question for the Sony Pony Express. Yeehaw.
Yeah.
First, I have been seeing Joe's weight loss updates on Threads, and I'm so proud of you. I'm inspired to lose the last 10 pounds to reach my goal. I've started slacking a bit and have just maintained. Here's the question. After playing a long game, what do you usually play after? Do you need a short game without story as a palate cleanser, or do you jump into your next big game? I finished Baldur's Gate 3 last week, 102 hours. Hey, congrats.
Hey.
And after finishing, I needed to play some non-story games like Vampire Survivors, Wreckfest, and Gran Turismo 7. Now I am on to Alan Wake 2 since my disc came in last week.
Oh, enjoy. First off, thank you so much. I have lost officially 25 pounds. Look at this.
Woo, woo.
You can't see it, but the shirt's getting lighter.
Nice.
Everybody's telling me, everybody at work's like, Joe, you're looking good.
Sweet.
Like, oh, shucks. And I got the Wegovy in me, humble brag. They're like, here's a few, jabbed. And do I feel nauseous? Yeah, it's been real bad. But yeah, no, thank you guys so much. Truthfully, I have like a goal of like losing another 16 by the end of the year. I really want to get under. I'm very transparent about my weight, so like I'm I was 372. I think I mistyped when I tweeted out saying it's 373. I'm now 347. And so I hope by the end of the year, I'm somewhere in the 320s. And that's going to make me feel real good. I've been kicking this thing's butt. I went to the doctor's today. And she was actually incredibly impressed by my progress. She's like, all right. And then she's like, now you've earned yourself some 2 trials of Wegovy. Yes. All right. That said, this is another great question. Because for me, after a big game, I'm kind of all gamed out. And I go then turn to like a show. So like, you know, if I played Baldur's Gate, I would be turning on to the Penguin right now. Going, I played a lot of games. Now let's go watch some television and fall in love with Sofia Gigante. What about you, T? After you, because your content revolves on you playing games.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you make it not feel like work?
The work side of it does feel like work. That's the reality.
Mm-hmm.
It's an amazing job, and obviously
yeah.
I love it, but it does feel like work. I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world, but it is my job, and therefore it still feels like a job. There are times where I'm just like, I really just don't want to play another game right now, but I have to. So I just do. But on my personal time, I always get into game holes, show holes, book holes. If I've been reading a big series, watching a big series, playing a big series, or just anything I've loved, when I'm done, nothing can satiate what I'm looking for. I'm running into that with books right now. Like I finished a book series that I absolutely loved, finished a book that I absolutely loved, and now nothing is what I want it to be because I want more of that book. And that happens a lot with games too. And usually when I finish a really big game, I play that game again until I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then I drop off, and then I do what you do, and I shift to a different medium for a little while. So, you know, right now it's coloring and watching TV. But when I get out of that little hole, then I jump back into games. Because if for example, like I am obsessing over, let's say when I beat Skyrim for the first time, nothing was Skyrim anymore. So then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna play Skyrim again until I'm like, all right, I don't actually want to replay this story again because I just beat it. And then I'm like, okay, I can detach from it, but nothing is filling that void. And if I try to play something completely different, I just wouldn't want anything to do with it. So
I think when Skyrim came out, that was legit the only game our friend group played besides maybe a Call of Duty here or there for the entire year. Like it was all consuming. That's Skyrim. Just kiss. What about you, Kyle? After a long game like a Baldur's Gate, where are you going to next?
I play something that is so radically different from whatever that game is, or like a smaller sized indie. I cannot go big game to big game, because then I get burnt out way too quick, and I felt that a little bit last year, honestly, when it was like, I forgot what the first one was, but it was like Spider-Man 2, and then here's Alan Wake 2, and then it's whatever
Baldur's
the next
Gate.
one. Exactly, like it just kept flowing into each other. It's like, oh, it's too much. It's too much. So I'm trying to play something big, and then I'll play something smaller on those small scale. Like I talked last week, I was in a gaming rut, right? And Cyberpunk wasn't doing it for me, and then I had Neva and Fear the Spotlight, and I was like, man, I'm all in for Dragon Age tomorrow. Like I'm so prepared for that. And also, like, it's different for me because I always have MLB The Show to fall back on, and
that's fair.
as
That's
like
fair.
a comfort food kind of thing. So, yeah.
Ooh, thoughts on shovelware? I mean, it depends on what you think. This is Beckham5 in the chat. Thoughts on? I mean, it depends on like what's your definition of shovelware, right? Because if it's like, oh, you know, Radalika easy plats, like, no, those need to stop. But if it's like games that are
Excuse
Kyle?
me? Excuse me?
T, you're gonna watch your two dads fight for a sec. Yes,
A
Kyle.
lot of the Radalika games are not that bad. They just have a bad reputation for having easy plats.
Sure, they email me every week.
And listen, they're asking if you want a code. You say yes and give them to me.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough.
Let him get his platinum count up.
Yes.
All right, fair enough. Right.
Yeah, depending on the shovelware, like if there's not much substance to it, if it's just like those, what's the line of games that are on the PlayStation Store, like Stroke the Cat or Stroke the Dog, or those style things. I hate those. But if it's more like if it actually has like a game to it, I'm okay with it.
The Bluey game, did you play that?
I have not played the Bluey game yet.
I have
really easy platinum.
Bluey. Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
Bluey wishes they were Blue's Clues.
Beckham and chat, Radalika are not shovelware.
Okay, all right. Well, damn. Okay, all right. See, okay. Maybe I've got them all wrong. What was the one game that we played on Patreon that taught us about Jesus Christ?
Tegan, I don't know if you're aware.
I'm not.
There is a whole series of games, and I have pretty much all the platinums because it was during the pandemic, and they were all like 80 cents. And it was like a little stick figure. It was black and white. It was very, very simple. But every single game had a platinum that you could get within 20, 30 minutes. And at the end of every game, a little Bible verse would pop up to teach you a lesson. There were even some, I think it was like a bowling series that is awful. Basically like, I like this girl, so she has to like me back. Like that kind of backwards kind of thoughts or whatever. It was awful.
Oh no.
No.
Oh,
so are you ready?
Thank you, Beckham.
Are you ready to go knocking on doors to talk to people about their Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?
No, I am.
Or Breakthrough Gaming.
I'll talk to them about Breakthrough Gaming.
Joe, going back to your Bluey comment, you need to watch. Just do me a favor and just watch Sleepy Time.
Okay, Sleepy Time.
Sleepy Time. Just watch it.
Okay, all right, I'll do it. It's on Disney Plus, right?
Yeah.
I'll watch it with an open mind this time.
Please.
I was at work last time, and I was like, I don't get the draw. What is it? It's Blue's Clues, but they're all Australian.
No, it's nothing like Blue's Clues. Just watch Sleepy Time. There are really deep themes that are. Just watch Sleepy Time.
Okay, fair enough. What's the next question here? Kyle?
Wolf King 20 writes in, just want to say I'm glad to be in this gaming community. Even though I don't chat daily, I love experiencing the takes on the latest and greatest information from our podcast hosts and the Sony Pony Express Yeehaw participants. Thanks, Wolf King. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I appreciate everyone who
This is the greatest community. Are you kidding me?
Just real quickly. It baffles my mind that people take 2 hours out of their week to listen to us talk about games.
Yep.
It never gets lost on me. We say it all the time. I love you all so very much for allowing me to do this. It's really special. So I'm extremely grateful.
We love you all very much.
Yep. Donuts. I like the way you spell donuts, by the way, too.
Thank you.
Are you donuts?
No, I just I spelled it this time phonetically.
He typed it so well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought that was actually how they spelled their username.
I think so to an extent.
Okay. I was like, wait, do you have an alias and you're writing into the?
Yeah, I was like, no. Simpsons.
Hi, gang. First things first, a huge congratulations on reaching 400 episodes. Wish I'd been there from day one. It's okay. Those early episodes are rough to listen to.
Rough watch.
But I've loved the past couple of years listening. Question for the
We really find our stride at year 2.
Question for Sony Pony Express. Yeehaw. Can you please list your top 400 games in an alphabetical order? Thanks. Let's see.
No, let's actually try to do that off camera.
Yep.
Jesus.
Get the Google Doc. Let's go.
I'll be filibustering.
I'm trying to think of a game that starts with A right now. Oh, Assassin's Creed 2. All right.
There you go.
Me, Bioshock.
3. Just another huge thanks for your consistently great work and entertainment, and we look forward to another 400.
Oh my goodness, same.
I've heard that a couple times. That it's scary to think for another 6 years. And where I will be in 6 years.
I might have a kid. Who knows?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, my kid's gonna be old.
Right?
All the girls, Jayla will be graduating high school or in college.
Oh my gosh, no.
Ghettoberry writes in, congratulations.
Here I am not having existential dread. You guys are like, oh my god, and where's time going? I'm just like waving around.
Congratulations to you on reaching the 400 episode milestone. To commemorate this achievement, the universe is making you a 19-inch statue. But what is it? That, my friends, is entirely up to you. Love you both. Here's to the next 400.
It's Cloud doing a squat. Thank me later, internet.
What character do I want 19 inches of on my desk?
No, it needs to be you. What would you be
us?
doing in your 19-inch statue?
Hmm.
I don't care if that wasn't actually the question.
No,
I want
like
to know.
that. I like better.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm over here thinking Chloe from Uncharted, but let me. What would I do?
We're thinking sinful thoughts, and she's like, "What type of poses would you guys do?" Obviously, we do the Charlie's Angels type of thing.
Oh my
Obviously.
god, yes.
You know. Honestly, oh my god, now that it's three of us, what's a trio that we can be? You know? I mean, look at the 19 inches of Venom, right?
Uh-huh.
I could be Venom, T could be Spider-Man, you could be Miles.
Right here.
Yeah, you guys are fighting me.
Do we all have 19 inches of venom?
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
so
yeah.
many inches. That's so many
So
inches.
So many inches.
So many inches. We can almost make a real venom.
Yeah. Someone say
Send it
that's
my way.
someone say that's way too big.
Oh my god.
You don't need all that. Next question, please.
Really quickly, Landon in chat says, "Hey guys, real hard pivot here. Getting ready to donate my kidney to my dad on election day.
Oh my god!
Oh
what
my
a-
gosh.
So I got my vote in early. Also,
Nice.
congrats to Light. I thought you fit with the show super well, and I'm excited that you're staying.
Thank you, Landon.
Thanks,
Love
Landon.
Good luck. Good luck.
Yes.
Good luck to you and your
Good luck
family.
with
That
the
is
kidney.
amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Really,
Yeah.
really cool.
Please let us know how it goes afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that's love right there.
That is
Thank
love.
goodness.
Stingray writes in, first of all, congrats and a good job on the accomplishments so far. You should be proud. Pat your backs. Come on, pat them. Oh, okay. Question for the Sony Pony Express. Yeehaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What words of wisdom would you inspire on the next generation of folks venturing into podcasting to accomplish said 400 episodes and beyond? As always, take care and keep hunting, fellas. Oh, I forgot to echo the beyond. Beyond.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'll go off what I jokingly said earlier.
Okay.
The beginning will always be rough.
Yes.
Push through it. No one is perfect on the first one. Joe can attest. It wasn't until year 4 when I stopped asking him how I did after every episode, because I was very self-conscious, and sometimes I still do, and I say, man, I real sucked that episode or whatever. It comes with time, and if you have something that you're super passionate about, whether it be PlayStation, any other hobby of yours that you want to talk about on a show, do it. It's so rewarding, even if no one listens. It's so cathartic, and it's just fun.
Yep.
Like it's really hard. It's really hard to think what I would have been doing the last 6 years on a Wednesday night instead of here recording and talk about games with some of my favorite people. So I say just stick with it and just find your own groove. Don't try to copy somebody else. Make it your own.
Make it your own. Find the inspiration. Like for the trophy room, for me, like my inspiration is like late night. That's what I love Conan O'Brien. He's my jam. That's the persona that I always look up to, that self-deprecating, that type of stuff. But like, do your own thing, man. Like, go out there, make it, and then make those mistakes. Don't look for the cheat sheet. I was actually having a talk with someone a few days ago. It's like, just go out there and make the mistakes is my advice. If I give you if I gave you the secret sauce of like how we make the trophy room, you didn't learn anything. And when the thing changes, because oftentimes the algorithm does, you're not going to know how to adapt to it. So I would say go out there and make the thing. Don't be afraid to make a few mistakes. And yeah, it's always a trial run. And if you find out that you don't like it, you don't like it. Maybe you have a new admiration for the folks that do. And if you really do love it, you're going to chase it even harder, and you're going to learn how to get better at it and learn how to sound better on it and all that stuff. So just go out there and make the thing, you know?
And like
What
Joe
advice
said
you got?
earlier, just start. Just start. That's always what I tell people on my channels as well. The biggest advice I can give you is just start. I don't care if you don't have a fancy microphone or a fancy camera. When I started my YouTube channel, I was recording my face cam on my cell phone, and the only thing that I actually purchased was a microphone. That was horrible. And I just made it work. I recorded my gameplay on my laptop. It sounded like a jet engine. Looking back at those videos, I could cringe into the floor out of embarrassment, but I started somewhere. And there is an audience for people who are just starting. There is an audience that love the really small, just starting out channels, podcasts, whatever it may be. So you can't, if you want to talk yourself out of it, you will. If you say, oh, I can't buy this, oh, I can't do that, you will never start. You just need to start. And then exactly what you guys said, keep going and keep learning, because that's the best advice you can have.
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Actually do
Exactly. Chase them. And even if it doesn't work out, you go, man, we did that thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, you know, when I look at the like the trophy room, truthfully, last week I'm like, do I have 400 more in me? And then immediately once I asked that question, I was like, oh man, I really want to do this. And it's just like those. I was like, oh yeah, no, obviously I got like 600 more in me. This is a ridiculous question. So like, yeah, you know, just go out there and make it. And T, you said something really smart. Grab your phone. You don't know, like, your phone is a very impressive piece of tech. You already look great, and the microphone on your phone already sounds good. Hop in your car, do something from there, because the acoustics are going to sound on point. One of my most popular very early vids, when this was not even the trophy room, wasn't Bad Bit Games, it was something, I hate the name of it, so I'll never say it.
Oh, I was gonna say it, so I'm glad you put that
No,
up
don't
there.
you dare. It was like me in my car talking about a PS4, and it did really well. So like, yeah, it's sometimes you just gotta just do it. Yeah, don't let your dreams be dreams.
No.
Never.
Yeah, it's weird to think that since you gave me the chance, show, to be on here, since that point, I also started 6-1 Indie, did all that. That was a huge risk, only covering indie games. In between, I did Best Friends Talk Funny, where it was a kind of funny best friend podcast where I got a best friend to come on, and we just chat about them and got to know them a little bit better. That was 50 episodes strong. But like,
and it's crazy that we pretty much do that now with our community.
1,000,000%. And it's always scary. I'm never comfortable, especially now with my face very naked. But like,
Cold.
Yeah, it's very cold. Can I have a blanket for my face? Like, is that something that I can get?
Someone crochet something with little ear loopies.
Oh my god, can I get a yarn beard until it grows back? Yes.
Marcus O'Neill's wife. We have a request.
Do all the colors. That'd be great. Yeah, it's just like, just echoing. Just, it's not gonna be perfect.
Yeah,
and that's okay.
And it still isn't perfect.
No.
Even if you look at the biggest people, it's never perfect. And it might look perfect from the outside, but afterwards we have 1,000,001 things that we're like, okay, we need to do that slightly better. Ooh, I kind of messed that up a little bit. Oh, that technology didn't work the way I wanted it to. Always.
Yeah.
So.
I was supposed to mute my mic 30 minutes ago, and everybody could hear my mom tell me I'm a proud little boy. You know?
That was so
I want to edit that out, but now I made the joke.
Don't you dare.
My internet died, 2 weeks ago while we were recording. Like, tech things happen.
Every time I stream, nothing works right. Something is not working.
Yeah. Speaking of which, T, I gotta tell you, ever since you've been on the show, I wanted to get into your content. And usually what I do is I go on YouTube at work and I listen. I'm like, I never watch anything on YouTube. Every time I tune into your channel, something awful happens at work where I am needed the entire day. And now I'm like, do I want to click? Do I want to support my friend? Because I might get attacked today.
Oh, that's great. Way to go, Light.
Yeah. I'm like, I want to support my friend. Oh, she's gone live. Okay, let me. And then I'm like, oh my God, okay. You don't want to know what happened last time. Yeah.
Man.
Katie writes in, hey guys, just a message to say congratulations to you. 400 episodes is a wild, crazy achievement. You guys have been a bright spot of my week every single week for about 3 to 4 years now. I am very thankful for you both, especially when I feel it's getting more toxic out there every day. Much love to you both. Here's to the same next 400 episodes. And so to Light, also shout out to Light, did a phenomenal job. Well, guess what, Katie?
She's staying.
She's staying.
You're stuck with me.
I giggled when Katie said, here's to the same next 400 episodes. There's some episodes in there where I don't want it to be the same.
Yeah.
There's a couple there.
It's a couple.
Green Gorilla Gamer writes in, sup, boys?
The boys.
When I first heard Joe's voice on Podcast Beyond and discovered the show, I never thought that years later I would be on your Patreon show discussing Spider-Man 2 and others with y'all, or playing Fortnite with you guys for your community game day, never mind planning one, or that you guys would be attending my wedding in less than a year. Which reminds me, I need to get on passports and whatnot.
Also, can we have a third seat here? You know,
I will not be offended if I don't get invited.
It's surreal, but I'm so happy.
She will be bringing a +1. Her husband can rock a 3-piece suit like no one's business.
So dapper. So dapper.
What a goddamn dreamboat that man is.
It's surreal, but I'm so happy I started listening and became friends with you both. Congratulations on 400 episodes, lads, and thanks for squaring up the news for us, for delivering our questions via a fucking train. Oh boy, Green Gorilla. And for the countless laughs you both bring. I'm so excited for 400 more. And Joe, I'm very excited for this new chapter in the trophy room. As for my question, it's been 1 year since the release of Spider-Man 2, one of my favorite games of all time. I used to say my favorite game of all time, but I think I rode the high for a while, and now its flaws have shown through in my second playthrough. Don't get me wrong, I still love it, but a lot of people think quite poorly of it. How do the three of you feel about it a year later? How do you feel about them saying no more DLC? I think they're lying. Why? Santa Monica lied about Ragnarok having DLC, and then they released it at the Game Awards that year. I still think we're getting DLC at the Game Awards, and they either lied or their wording was, quote, we have no more planned, end quote, because it's already done and ready to release. Speaking of God of War, why haven't you guys talked about the remastered trilogy being announced? Will it be just the first 3? Will it include Ascension? Will it go as far back to include Chains and Ghosts? Thank you guys again for this amazing show you put on. Thank you both for being a beacon of light in an otherwise dark and negative space in this field. And thank you, Kyle, for not letting shit go to Joe's head and for spreading the word on some amazing indies. Oh, and it's been 3,507 days since Bloodborne released. Damn.
God bless.
Much love to you all. God bless.
God bless.
That's it?
That's it. Whoa. It's too long. Let's go. Okay, a lot to parse through here. First, trilogy ain't announced yet, buddy.
No,
I was like,
just rumors.
Something, yeah, just
I
rumors.
was gonna say, I didn't think it was. What did I miss?
Believe me, we would have talked about it if it was real.
I would have talked, yeah. But how are we feeling on Spider-Man 2 year out?
I haven't gone back, so I can't really say.
Yeah, I usually don't do a second play. I think some of the people that speak poorly of it was like, there's some things in that story that they teed up, or that people were expecting, and it didn't happen because this is
don't
their.
Spoil anything because community members are going through it for the first time.
But like like some things that you expect would happen don't, and some that you don't do. It's like they're telling their own story. I thought this story is spectacular, and I think like Craven was actually a villain. Like he wasn't just some like, oh, he's the guy to introduce whatever. He was threatening in his own right alongside Venom, and he had some really awesome motivations. I just think when it comes to sequels, it's so hard to top the original because it was the first to do it.
And also when like the first one, you're going to most likely use your biggest guns.
Yeah.
It's like having Doc Ock in the first one, no duh.
Right.
Like it just makes sense. So it's always going to be hard to reach that level. Because then, like, yeah, I remember when they announced Kraven as being the villain, and everyone's like, Kraven? Kraven as the main
And that's the
villain?
thing. Yeah.
And he's like one of my favorite arcs in that entire game.
Exactly. Like it's the thing that annoys me sometimes with some audiences. It's like, oh, we want something different, but what they're actually saying is we want more of the thing that we already know. And so it's like, dude, we're already getting Venom. We can explore it. Like, for example, Batman. Not every personally, I love the Christopher Reeves Batman. Penguin's been phenomenal. I actually hope they don't touch Joker. Like, let's just have a Batman where there's like a different villain that he's going up against, except rather than the same three.
Love a new take on Mr. Freeze.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
I
bring Arnold back.
Arnold can't be the only on-screen film version of Mr. Freeze we get. Just can't happen.
You wouldn't allow it? Fair enough.
No.
Yeah, no, I stand by Spider-Man 2. What's the other part of his question here?
It's the God of War trilogy thing.
Oh.
I hope it's all
I
of
hope
it.
it's announced at game. Yeah, I hope it's announced at the Game Awards.
And I hope we get Bloodborne next year because it's the 10th
before the next 400 episodes.
Yeah.
Please. Just I don't ask for much.
That was a bit I think that was around when we started.
Yeah.
Every week you would bring up it's been blank days since Bloodborne.
How many days? That's right. But listen, bits come, they go, they change with the seasons, Can't go into Andrew House's house anymore. That's off limits.
No.
I've learned my lesson.
Can't.
Learned my lesson.
Marcus O'Neill writes in, congrats on 400. As someone who's been listening since almost as long as Kyle has been on the show, it's been awesome seeing how you've both grown. Appearances on Podcast Beyond and Kinda Funny, interviews with big-name voice actors and developers, one of the best award shows in the business. Proud of you both. As for favorite moments, Red Dead Sandwich Guy, Kyle secretly platinuming Bloodborne. That was a good one. That was fun. And Joe dressing up as Kratos with the baby powder burning his eyes are definite highlights. Here's to another 400.
I forgot about the Kratos thing until he said it.
I did
and then my eyes suddenly started burning again. I remembered the sensation.
Oh, man. Good times.
Thank you. And now I was a fall guy.
Yeah. Look at you. You're going to bring that bit back, though. I could tell it was very easy to do. Yeah. You'd be able to do it whenever you want.
I think that's a one and done. I'm still sweating. I can't stop.
Our final question comes in from Fuji. Congrats on 400 episodes, team. You are both great entertainers. I'm going to include Light in that as well. Light is fantastic. And I love you all for the wholesome chaos that you bring. To keep up the good work, and thank you for being a banger of a podcast. There it is, episode 400. We had to get banger in there. Thank you, Fuji.
I don't approve.
Game Over Cholo in chat says, spoiler, the PlayStation concert has a couple songs from God of War PS2 games.
Give me North American dates.
Yeah, give it.
Yes.
Now.
Come on, we got Ghost dates in 2025. They're going to be in Madison Square Garden. Gaga is going to probably have a world tour. Got to be there for Queen. And I will make time for that PlayStation concert. Ooh-wee.
Yeah, we're all going together.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, now we can finally say that we're going to go to the New York Games show together.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. This is great. No more secrets, guys. No more secrets between us, audience. Oh, it killed me for 2 whole weeks. You kidding me?
Can I let in on everyone how that conversation went? Because it was
please.
the week where you were gone. And I was going to ask Light without you. Because you always get all the fun.
It's true.
And here you barged in.
Just popped in.
Just popped in before the podcast. Literally, I was going to wait till afterwards, after the show is done, to ask.
Yeah.
And you're just like, hey, do you want to just be part of the show? It's like, you son of a bitch.
Because Diego needed the art.
I understand it was for a valid reason.
All right.
But how dare you?
His spidey senses were tingling. He knew you were going to ask, and he had to ask first.
He knew.
Honestly, T, it comes down to like I was nervous that if we waited one more week, you would say no. So
You didn't want me soon enough. Damn
exactly.
you.
Like,
It was like you learned all the tricks and tools of the trade, and you're gonna go make your own PlayStation podcast.
done. It's gonna be called like the room trophy. It's gonna be better than ours. It's gonna hurt my soul.
With Lyle and Bo. Elseworld versions of me and Joe.
I love that. We talk backwards. Uh that said, y'all, that has been episode 4 of the Trophy Room.
Episode 4?
Sorry, 400. Shit.
Good catch.
Remember when I said we get better at year 2? We're really still finding our own in year 6. Everybody, thank you all so much for coming in, joining us for episode 400. Just what a time. Thank you all so much. This has truly been one of my favorite episodes ever. I did not want this to end. This was phenomenal. Before we get on out of here, I'll go to the new guy over here. T, anything you'd like to spotlight before we get on out of here?
I reacted to The Exorcist. You can find that over on my reaction channel at Lightweight Reacting. Or gaming content. I'm playing Black Ops over at Lightweight Gaming, both on YouTube.
Yes.
Lightweight everywhere.
Yes, link down in the description now. Look at that.
Fancy.
Fancy that. Kyle Stevenson with the stash. Mr. Ted Lasso himself. Oh, you could have been Ted.
Well, so here's the other thing that I was going to do.
Yeah.
But again, money is tight, so I'm not paying for Discord Nitro to change my background. But I had a picture of the Believe sign.
Yeah.
And that was going to be my background of me just putting up like that. But I can't be
could've
spending $10 a month just for the one joke.
We could have took 10 out of the Patreon to do that.
No.
All right, fair enough.
No. Mr. K-Set.
I could have been Beard. Colin, yeah.
Mr. K-Set pretty much everywhere. 6-1 Indie for all the indie gaming coverage that we do. We haven't done the IndieCast in a while. That's just because Mike and I are grinding away for the Indie Game Awards on December 19th. A lot of moving parts. And yeah, I love you all very much. Tell anyone else that means something to you, you're a fan of, that you love them. Go support people and let them know that you like what they do. And it's such a huge part of it too. Back to the other question is like, on the other side of things, you have no idea what it means to us when we hear like, thank you for what you do. We enjoy talking or listening to you, and it makes it all worth it kind of thing.
Truly does. Yeah, please rate us 5 stars on Apple, on Spotify. It really does mean the world to us when we hear like the praise. Even when you go off in the chat like this, has been stellar tonight. Thank you all so much.
Shout out to TZ in chat, by the way.
TZ? What
you guys
are they
have done
doing?
a great job doing 400 episodes, and now you've made the show so much prettier and smarter by adding light to the mix.
Oh, look at that.
Fair.
Nice. I mean, I did do my hair today, but thanks for that. Thanks for noticing.
I cleaned up for the occasion. Like, I don't know.
Exactly. Okay, cool. Kyle doesn't have a blemish on him, but okay, TZ. We see how it is. Anyway, you can find the show over on Apple Podcasts, over on Spotify. And I would just want to say and reiterate, thank you all so much for supporting us. Whether you came in at episode 1, 100, 250, 375, whatever this number actually is, thank you all so much for coming out and showing up and truly being the best community on the internet. Every time when people talk about this show, how great this community comes very shortly afterwards. It's just amazing to see everybody here and have a haven for people that are just talking about and enjoying games. So please join the Discord, be part of the many that are there. Consider supporting us on patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. It really does help us out. It's the reason why we look so good, sound so great. And yeah, thank you all so much. And like always, keep hunting. Keep your wits about you. Keep hunting and keep playing PlayStation. See you guys.
Bye. Love you.
Bye.
And we're off.
Oh. That was 2 hours.